Shout out Pikachu. Shout out Minnesota Vikings. We win the Super Bowl this year, man. I'm waiting for the pilots. I'm waiting for McGlobster. I will not be disturbed during this presentation right here. Yes, 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 yes. Let's see, can we find my boy? Hey, man, pilots no, man. Pilots no. You feel me? Pilots no. So while you waiting everybody to come in, man, I'm gonna say this real quick. You know what I'm saying? I find it kind of odd. You feel me? My videos on TikTok getting a little traction. You know what I'm saying? Get a little traction and whatnot. But the video about the pilots, for some reason, don't know Glow Earth want to address that video. Right? I got a video on my feed right now that say pilots no. And for some strange reason, I don't know, for some reason, nobody want to address the fact that pilots know that the Earth is flat. They know it. They know it. They know the Earth is flat. We waiting on McGlobster, y'all. We waiting on McGlobster right now. I'm finna demolish the globe Earth. I'm finna demolish the curvature. I'm finna demolish the rotation of the Earth because it's got to stop. It's got to stop. We got to start using our common sense, man. If y'all mind, man, tap the like. How you do it? It's finna get real. It's finna get real. But in the meantime, in between time, man, let's just talk about just the truth, man. Let's talk about the truth for a minute, right? For some reason, man, people are so triggered by the flat Earth. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, but Globster, I'm here, baby. On time. On time. I'm here. I want all the smoke. I want all the globe smoke. I want all the globe smoke. I want you to bring all your globe heads to this live right here. Because it's going on YouTube. And you're gonna look silly when we done with this. Y'all gonna look silly, dog. What's up, Globster? What's up, man? Oh yeah, I already sent you an invite, my guy.
You showed up.
Yeah. There we go.
And
Hold on.
You're on your
Turn my Bluetooth off.
You're on your phone. There we go. I'm gonna turn down my music. Alright.
Alright. Can y'all hear me?
Alright. Yeah, we can hear you. I was hosting. I thought you were gonna join mine. That's why I came in a bit late. But then I saw that you were live, so I just ended mine. Alright, so here's Dr. Hasselblad. Yeah, I can hear you. And we got And Science for All. These two, they're both my team. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. What y'all got for me?
Alright, bring him up. And JT is here.
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
I'm finna bring him up.
This is a conversation I have been waiting for.
Oh, I've been waiting too, man. And I find it kind of funny that nobody wanted to address the video that I had about the pilots no on my TikTok. I'm just saying.
Again, listen, bro. I just wanted to leave it for today. If I left it, you would have a lot for today.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm here for it, man. Maybe I'll learn something today.
Yeah.
Yo,
maybe I'll learn the Earth. What's up, Dr. Hasselblad, man? What's up, my guy?
not much.
Man, you know, same old, man. I'm trying to see what's up with y'all, dog. This is gonna be fun.
Request. Come on.
Say what?
Oh, I was talking to And Science for All.
Yeah.
So
Come
what
one,
do you
come
want to?
all.
While they come, oh, he said that he requested to check the box again.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see. Boom. I got you. Science for all. Or scientism for all. What we got?
Hi, Ty. Thanks for having me.
What's up?
All right. So Ty,
Hey
what's
man,
first? What do you want to
I'm
talk
all
about?
ears. I'm listening to y'all first. Let me
Yeah.
what y'all talking about. I'm all ears.
You had the content. You posted all these videos. Show us. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about pilots? You want to talk about I don't
I
know,
mean,
whatever.
I just want to, I don't know if y'all seen the video or not. I find it kind of funny that nobody want to address it. It's my lowest viewed video on my feed, and I find it kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Because those are real pilots. Those are
Right.
real pilots.
But I also shared you two videos of real pilots saying that it's a globe. So right now it's just he said, I said.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
And
So,
I got a pilot in the chat.
hey,
JT810. He's probably in the box. I don't even know. He's coming up
hey, we got
soon.
some
I
more.
know.
Let me see. Look in the box and see what we got in the box right here.
Oh, I have a question, Ty.
What's
Oh,
What's
up? What's
um
up, man?
uh, what's the most overwhelming evidence you have? Kind of, if we're both making our claims and we're both going to make,
Mhm.
these are pretty difficult ideas to put our heads around. What's your argument? And then we'll give you ours.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
This is just a difficult. It's not difficult. The truth is simple. Truth is simple. There's no curvature, and we see too far. Your turn.
Okay, in what way do we see too far?
Um, the globe Earth calculator, right? First of all, do y'all? Let me ask you this question: do y'all find any validity in the globe Earth calculator? Do y'all use that as any? Is that credible to y'all?
yeah. And by the way, Paul, can you mute your mic? You have like an echo going on.
Yeah, somebody echoing, I believe.
It's
Is it
Paul.
me?
No, it's Paul.
Okay.
There
Okay,
we go.
so you were talking about we can see too far according to the Earth calculator. Do you have any examples for us? Because
Um.
at the moment that is a claim. So do you have any evidence to back up that claim?
All right. So I'm kind of new to TikTok. So how would I be able to show my evidence
Yeah.
how would I?
You can green
You have
screen it.
a
You can
wait. You
turn
have
the
a
camera.
laptop. Right. Yeah, you have a laptop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can turn your phone around or like the camera around, and then you can just film your
Okay.
computer showing the video.
All right. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's see if I turn the phone camera around. Flip camera. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to flip it. Hold up. Oh yeah, it is. I did flip. Okay, cool. All right. Hold on 1 second.
All right.
I got a video pulled up right here.
Yeah. While you
Flip
bring
this
it up,
camera.
I have radars because I want JT to demolish you.
Radar.
Radars,
We can, we can
bro.
we can actually start with the radar if you want to because
No. Let's start with this, and then we can,
okay.
move on to the finishers.
All right. Let's go back to my you want to go back to my video on my feed about the pilots?
Sure. Yeah. Let's start with that.
All right.
Go ahead.
No problem. Give me a second if I can pull it up for y'all, man. But yeah, man, I waiting for this boy. I waiting for this. I've been waiting for this one.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when y'all talk about what's my overwhelming proof, right? Okay, first I want
Okay.
to say before I show this video, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. If I'm showing y'all these videos, these pilots, real pilots saying this, I don't say y'all combat this because these are real pilots. You feel me?
Just
Um,
before you do, Ty, because I asked for the most overwhelming evidence you have. Is this the most overwhelming evidence you have?
no, not at all, not in the slightest. Oh, your video popped up first on my feed, but look at that. What you know? It turns down real quick though, so I won't be too loud. All right, let's go to my feed now. Hey man, your video. Hey man, I love your video, man. You funny with this. You funny, man. But y'all see
Thank
this
you.
though? Y'all see right here? Why is it only 43? I just find it kind of odd, you know? I just don't feel click on it though.
Yeah. Not all my videos get
Can y'all
views
hear it?
either. No.
I'm gonna pause. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna pause real quick. So this first one right here is, somebody came to ask one of the commercial pilots, is the Earth flat, right? Now we'll continue the video real quick.
You're the pilot? How long have you been flying for? Like for Delta 21 years, and maybe 30 something. I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think it's flat? I know it's flat. You know it's flat?
Oh, we'll start right there. That's the first pilot. What we gotta say about that one?
All right, JT, you want to respond? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I was gonna say he's probably doing something with his kid.
All right.
No problem.
You can just play the rest of the video while
All
we're
right.
waiting.
How long have you been flying for, you said? Over 30 years. And when you tell people that, do they think you're like crazy or? Only one person. And one person?
They built it for a flat, stationary Earth, and my goal is for some young fighter pilot to listen to what I just said, go out tomorrow, and set the bottom of your L strobe on your altitude, run it out there to 80 miles, and that bottom altitude on your cursor will stay the same.
Are you a pilot? Yes, sir. One question. When you descend in the air, yeah, do you dip or do you go straight? It's straight. Straight? A little more with the nose out. That's it. But straight. You don't dip into the. No. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Welcome, sir. Have a great day.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there? Curvature? No, there's no curvature. It's just all flat.
Is the earth flat or round? Thanks. I'm with you. Pregunta controversial. Hay un debate ahora en YouTube especialmente en el que las personas se cuestionan que si la curvatura de la Tierra es observable o no es observable. No, a la altura que no está bien. Usted no va haciendo ningún ajuste, va como si.
I don't know if y'all speak this highly. I'm gonna skip to the English so you can guide me. I didn't know as far as you.
Because they tell us, that.
All right.
Bueno, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Because they tell us, that at least in the U.S., the ground's moving at about 700 miles an hour left to right. And I was thinking that's kind of odd if it's landing, going north, moving in north direction.
No, the ground looks that's like it's standing still.
Yeah, not an issue, no.
Yeah, no. You can see the Rockies from Kansas.
Hold up. That's why I want to stop right there. She said you can see the Rockies from Kansas. Explain that one.
Yeah, about 300 miles away.
But if there's a curvature, you shouldn't be able to see that.
Well, the Rockies are what, 13,000 feet? You're cruising 36, 40,000 feet.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see about 300 miles away.
Okay. I actually understand that one. Cool.
Later it's a clear day, but if it's smoky or hazy, obviously yes.
All right, so JT, answer why pilots say it's flat.
Well, for the most part, I mean, you don't see an accentuant or extraneous curve. I mean, fairly, you could say it's flat. Looking at it, unless you take a picture and analyze the picture from altitude.
Okay. Let's continue.
You guys adjust for curvature as flying through the air. They're supposed to fall, right? So should we be dipping down the nose of the plane to compensate for the curvatures, or do you guys or do you fly on over a flat plane? Well, if you're about a millimeter of it over.
Can I get the big screen for a second?
All right. You said mute screen?
The big screen.
Oh, the big screen.
Yeah.
Hold up. I don't get what you're saying. What you want me to do now?
Click on my icon and then click on the little square box, kind of.
Okay. Boom. I got
He
your
wants to come on the
icon.
big screen, I think.
I press your icon, but okay. Let's see.
There we go.
All right.
All right. So this is a picture that JT took while he was
Right.
flying, and by what he means by it looking flat is, let me get a pen. You know, by looking at it, you think it looks flat, but when he says that, yeah, you got to take a picture, analyze it. Meaning,
Right.
looking at the edge right here, you can see the curvature, right? You got to analyze. You got to look closely. You can see the curvature, and it's taken by JT while flying. And I got
So
more.
go ahead.
I can't see a curve.
Here. Here's another pilot. You can see his full flight on YouTube. You can actually see the curvature. It was lined out with this. That's highlight in the bottom. Boom.
Looks pretty flat to me.
What?
Oh.
Come on, bro.
Now you're being disingenuous.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then.
For all the
So
satellites in the world, that's the best you can do to show us the curvature. That's slim.
no, I'm saying. So my question is, okay, see,
Yeah.
keep the picture right there, right? Keep it right there. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, gotcha.
if we are on a ball, right? Listen to what I'm saying. If you're on a ball, there's no way that all your eye level. That doesn't happen on a ball. If you're on a
It
ball,
doesn't though.
say what?
It doesn't. It
It
doesn't
does.
though.
It's what you mean. It does.
No.
It's
So McGloster, look, show me that HUD. Look straight at that HUD. Okay. So when we're looking at the HUD here, do you see what we call the? A lot of people call it the Piper. Some people call it the vector. Either rate. See the little W bar
right.
where Gloster's mouse is.
Yeah.
That okay, that's the nose of the aircraft. So that's showing you what the nose of the aircraft's attitude is, reference to what should be the horizon.
Right.
What we call the vector, which is the little circle there with looks like a up air up. Yep, that guy right there. That's the vector. So that's kind of the tail of the airplane. And the line that's there is the 0 degree line. So that's the horizon. That's our line of sight. That's what we use to determine what's above, what's below, or what's at our level is using that line. And now you can see the horizon line is about in this case, about 2.5 degrees below the line of sight.
Right.
Right. So the horizon at altitude will always be anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees below you. It's relative to your altitude. It never rises to your eye level.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It does. I'm sure.
No, it
I'm wait till you
does.
finish your sorry, first. I'll do that. So
you can see that.
okay.
And by the way, like the windows for pilots, the cockpit, they're especially made to like block out any distortion that comes in. So you can see that this gate in the back is straight. And in this video, on YouTube, he does like put the camera up and down, just in case like if you think it's like the lens distorting it, it's all the same from the bottom to the top to the middle. So it's not distortion in any way.
But why? Well, okay, so my thing is about the eye level. Like, let me show mine real quick. Let me show you what you're talking about. How do I put myself? I'm gonna put myself back in here real quick. Okay, so why isn't it showing up? Let's see. Okay, so right now I know y'all see me.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about physical curvature, right? So this is what, if you're on a globe, this is what y'all supposed to be doing. Right or wrong, let me show you.
That's right.
Per minute rate of descent for that airplane to follow the globe. Okay, and that is a continuous descent, not to land. That is a continuous descent while the aircraft is at altitude flying along.
That's a huge plane.
Wow.
Yeah, that plane is really huge.
Let's make it 500 feet per minute.
So what?
The airplane to a full stop at an airport.
It's a big ass plane.
On the globe, it has to descend
Gigantic.
continuously. 2,000.
So my question to the pilot is: so y'all dip? Do you dip the nose or not?
Descending, I do.
I'm saying no. I'm talking about when you just fly, not before you descend. I'm talking about just when you just going to your destination.
Well,
Because in a globe, you have to dip the nose at a certain amount of time each time, right?
no,
But Ty, you notice how out of scale that is. In order to make it look like you would have to do that.
we actually don't have to dip the nose. We're maintaining an altitude, a pressure, a certain pressure gradient that we're flying in at altitude. So we do what it takes to fly in that pressure gradient. The airplane's constantly.
Hold up, time out. So you telling me that if you're flying over a ball, think what I'm saying? If you're flying over a globe, you have to dip the nose at all? You just go straight and just automatically that don't make any sense.
Ask him how you can keep the pressure in without a container.
Could I just say one thing? You see the little tip of your mouse cursor, like the finger?
Right.
Make believe that's the plane. It's probably even smaller than that. Why would that have to dip?
Scale, it's going to be actually way
Why would
smaller.
that have to dip? Its nose. Like,
if you are flying over,
make believe that little tip of that finger, just the little tip, not the whole hand, the little tip of the finger is flying, and then keep it at the same distance the whole time, which is what means level. Why are you
so let's say this is the little tip of my mouth, right? See that? Let's say this is a plane, right? So you telling me that if I go straight like that,
why would you go straight out like that? The gravity is towards
because
the
you're over a
center.
plane.
No, the gravity is towards the center. It's always being pulled towards the center. It wouldn't just go out straight out like you're doing. That's not how it works.
But we're talking about the laws. We're talking about the laws of physics here.
Yeah,
you're telling me that you have to
you have to understand.
You don't have to dip at all.
Okay, all right.
So you're staying at 35,000 feet above.
God, I'm about to drop out if I'm not going to be able to talk.
Right.
No, go ahead, JT.
My bad. Go ahead.
An airplane's level is not based on putting the airplane at a level pitch and flying that. An airplane's level means to maintain a constant altitude. The airplane is constantly going up and down to maintain that pressure altitude, not an altitude reference to the surface of the Earth. That would be what we would call AGL, altitude above ground level. That's not what we fly in. We fly in what is known as MSL, mean sea level, which is a pressure altitude.
So do you know the meaning of level, right?
Yeah, no point being higher than the point next to it.
So now let's talk about words. So airplane. So so if it's called an airplane, why not call it air globe? Because the airplane is a scene when it's flying over a non-rotating plane.
You can do that,
but not the definition of an airplane, but okay.
But check this
out.
No.
I'm saying no. You break the word down. Airplane.
But Ty, say we were having this conversation in Spanish. Is avión now? Say we were having this conversation in Spanish. They're called avión now. So the play on words would only work in English. So in every other language, it doesn't matter.
Well, that depends if you speak that language.
I mean, I can actually see. I can actually get that. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. I can agree with that. But like Half Price said in the comments, a planet is a plain T, right? Words have meanings. trying to tell me that if you try to fly over a globe with curvature, you never dip your nose down at all?
Not
It
with
doesn't
that
sound.
size.
It's not like.
They're going to tell you the planet
So
spins.
what is the definition of an airplane, right?
No. I'm asking y'all what it is because obviously it's called airplane because you fly over a plane.
I'm answering you.
Yeah.
The
Go ahead.
definition of an airplane is a heavier than air aircraft kept aloft by an upward thrust exerted by passing air on its wings and driven by propellers or jet propulsion.
Okay. Because I can't really dispute that because you know more than me because you know what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is,
I mean, you
despite
can
all
look it
the,
up.
what I'm trying to say is how
So
in the world. Go
if
ahead.
we if
So at what? Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
if you look at plane, I mean, there's different planes. You can look a flat or level surface, a surface generated by a straight line moving at a constant velocity. As an adjective, flat or level as a surface, or relating to planes or plane figures, to glide or soar, a boat to rise partly out of the water when moving at high speeds. I mean, there are millions of different. You can cherry pick any definition that
It's
It's
like
not
you
cherry
want
picking.
to
It's just
word what
like
you
it's
want.
like an aircraft. Do you think like kids are inside of it just doing crafts, playing with toys and shit?
Yeah, I mean, but either rate, back to the point. The fact of why it's called a plane or whatever. You can go back and ask the ancients in the 1800s, 1900s why they decided to call it an airplane. But as far as level in regards to aviation is maintaining a constant altitude, not climbing, not descending. That is
so for
what
the
is
record.
referred to as level.
So for the record now, you telling me that when you're taking an airplane going over a globe with curvature, you don't have to dip at all? That's all I want to know.
No.
No, you
Okay.
don't. I mean, you've got 5 forces acting on an airplane. To be clear cut and dry, more so 4. The 5th one's an aerodynamic force that really doesn't have to be delved into unless you're going into aerodynamics deeply. But you've got thrust, weight, lift, and drag. So drag is counter to thrust. Weight, which is gravity's pull, is counter to lift. And you've constantly got that pull keeping the aircraft oriented upright.
Okay.
It's constantly going to be pulling towards the surface of the earth. The aircraft, while we're flying, we are maintaining a constant pressure reading. That's what our altimeter does. It senses pressure changes. And every second, it's making an adjustment to stay at that pressure altitude. Up and down,
So
constantly moving.
okay. So I'm not down with what you're saying, but so what I'm saying is the video I was just showing y'all with these pilots, these real pilots saying that the Earth
Hold,
is
hold on,
flat. What do y'all say about that?
Ty.
He is a real
Ty,
pilot too.
before you go into that, Ty, I wanted to ask a question about the pilots. Those
Sure.
pilots, right? It is a real short clip, and they say it's flat, and that's it. But on your chat right now, on this live, you have a pilot that you can ask any question to, which is JT. Why do you make those
Yeah.
pilots more credible? The ones
I
that you
didn't. No.
only have,
I'm not
but you have JT here, who's a real commercial pilot,
right.
and you can ask him
But these are
anything.
also real. I'm asking him that, but I'm also asking if he's a real commercial pilot. Why is his contemporaries? Because these are real commercial pilots too. Why are they saying something different?
Yes, but how about the if
A lot of
100,000
it,
pilots, if
a lot
100,000
I
of
haven't.
it,
pilots
I
were
haven't showed the whole clip.
like that first guy
Right.
in that video is
Right.
literally trolling.
He's trolling. So you
Yeah.
saying 19 pilots? Because I haven't even showed the whole
Okay,
video. I showed just the
Yeah,
Ty,
beginning.
how about this?
19 of them for the most part, and a
That's a
couple of them
outrage.
they're being
Y'all can't do
asked.
that, man. Y'all,
Ty,
that's
Ty, Ty,
disingenuous, bro.
Ty,
I'm
Ty,
not
Ty.
What's
being
your best evidence you want to
disingenuous. You
globe?
can literally look. Ask majority of pilots next time you go to an airport. Ask them when someone asks you about flat Earth, do you just troll them to get them to leave you alone? Most of the time,
That's your
99% of
opinion.
the time,
Your opinion.
you're going to be told yes. No, we literally sit around and talk about this
Come on.
all the time.
What's
Here we
your
go.
number one?
Watch this.
Lad,
Ty,
can I
I
ask you
sent you
It's
a
something?
like it's
video.
like
Can I continue the video?
it's
One
the
second.
same as when a cop is arresting somebody and the guy's like, "Am I gonna get arrested?" No, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Like this guy,
It's
right?
just to
Right
keep it
there, right
calm.
there, right there. We're not allowed to tell anybody that. There's nothing that says you can't. There's nothing says you can't
But no,
think that the
let's
world
go
is
back
flat.
to honestly. Let's
There's
go back.
nothing.
Let's go back to the point about
Okay,
the.
Ty,
Go
Nothing
ahead.
one
that
second.
says.
One second, 1 second. Ty, I shared you a video of more than 20 pilots saying it's a globe. It's in your messages. It's
Yeah.
recent
What's your
too.
I'm
number
saying,
one
but I have
go-to?
So you got
I have a
that
whole
video
playlist.
because
But I have a whole playlist
right,
of literally 3 hours
you
of
have that
pilots
video
saying
that
it's flat.
says flat,
No, you
and
don't.
then
There's
I
no
shared you a
video of
video.
that
Hello.
many pilots out there saying it's
There is.
flat.
I'm saying, you tell me there's no videos like that? I can put it up right now.
Look at my video.
Prove the
Go to your
globe,
messages
man.
and look at that video I shared to you.
All right, let me see. Let me see.
Tommy, you guys are intelligent. Prove the globe. What's your number one go-to to prove the
Thank
globe's
you.
real,
Let's
man?
do that, Paul. Let's go, Paul. Let's go, Paul.
Measurements of curvature.
There is no curvature.
No, you can actually measure it.
No one's
But
ever
there
seen the
is.
curve.
You measure it. You
Nobody's
can
ever seen
see
curve.
it.
Yeah, but anyone can bring up. You're starting with the numbers you want to start with. If you go, the maths don't work.
No,
I've seen
The
the
maths
curvature
don't
more
work. We've been
times than
seeing
I can
videos for
count.
months. Maths don't work. So
I've
either the
seen
world's
curvature more
bigger,
times
they're
than I can count.
lying.
I
Ty,
actually
it's in your
have the
messages.
I actually have the
But here,
privilege
I'm
to
gonna mess
work
with y'all.
with
Hold up.
former astronauts that have actually been part of the space shuttle missions and went to space.
Oh God.
Well, as much as I hate to call people liars, there must be something better you can do. You're supposed to have.
So Paul,
You're
is
supposed to
your
have
Hey,
hundreds.
look,
Hang on, hear me
it
out.
won't let me
You're
do it.
supposed to
See?
have hundreds
It
of
won't let me.
satellites up there in space. Why can't we
Paul,
see the Earth?
is your claim that we can't measure a
It's the
curve,
one
like
up.
we can't build an arch and
But
measure the arc?
No, my claim is your maps don't work. We've had loads of independent experiments that prove your maps don't work.
yes, you
Well,
still
How
have.
about this? How about this?
Ty,
Hold
did you
on.
ever find that video you were supposed
Hold
to tag
on.
us with?
So if the Earth
What
weren't
video?
Let's scroll up.
globe, if the Earth were not a
Hey,
globe,
Haley.
if the Earth were not a globe and it were flat, that would mean
I'm not saying it's flat, by the way. Go on.
that would mean that airplanes would be having emergency landings due to running out of fuel in the thousands per day, because our flight planning is
You're
based.
going well ifs and that,
I'm not going off of what ifs. If you plan a flight on a flat map, like people think, versus what we actually plan, the distances are 1,000 miles off.
No, it's not true.
Yeah. Yes, they actually are. Unapologetically, I'm not sorry. If you were to plan a direct flight, straight line distance on a flat map from Tokyo to LA versus a Great Circle route from Tokyo to LA, the distance is almost 2,000 miles different. That means that flight would not be carrying enough fuel to fly on a flat map because it's planned on a globe. That means that flight would have to divert because it would run out of fuel.
Have you ever seen a comparison of a flat flight plan to a roll flight plan? Have you ever seen a comparison of that?
Say again?
I never claimed the world.
Have you ever seen a comparison between a flight route on a globe and flight route on the curve? Actually, it makes sense on the flat.
Actually, I have, but you've also got to look into the fact that the Gleason is derived from a globe, and where the Gleason is off, chill out. Where the Gleason is off is when you try to plan a flight from Sydney, Australia to Santiago, Chile, or from Melbourne, Australia to Johannesburg, South Africa.
Hold on. I'm going back to your video real quick, bro. So I'm going back to your
Alexander Gleason said it. Alexander Gleason did the patent for it, and it says is projection of the globe. I don't get why anybody rejects that.
Here's a good example of what you were just talking about. Used many times, Santiago to Chile, 11,340 kilometers. And then you've got the equator at 40,075 kilometers. And then this distance here, which is Mexico to the, Mexico to the southern tip of Japan, 11,400. Now, Let's look at your flat map. The red one is 11,400. The purple one's 11,400, and the one in the middle is 40,000. See that? See how that doesn't make any sense at all?
But the calculation of the globe and the flat Earth are different because we believe, like I said, we believe Antarctica is at the bottom of the ball.
So here you go.
We
Tell
believe
me
Antarctica
how
surrounding
this
us.
works.
So
Tell me how this works, right? Let's take, what do you have? Auckland, New Zealand to Lima, Peru. So this is where people like to cherry pick flights. So that flight from Auckland to LA is an Air New Zealand flight. From LA to Lima, Peru is an American Airlines flight or either a LATAM flight. It can be one of the two. So look up the LATAM flight that goes from Auckland, New Zealand to Santiago, Chile, and then from Santiago to Lima, Peru. Because that flight exists, it takes place 3 times a week.
I'm looking at it, but look at this. Okay, so why not just go straight across the? Why not just go straight across there? Why go way up here to the north?
Just explain that it's 2 different flights.
Let me finish.
Because that is not the shortest distance.
It is short. Can I finish? What sense would it make for my flights in the southern hemisphere to cross over to the northern hemisphere, or to go back down to the southern hemisphere again? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all.
It does when you look at the logistics of the flight. How many people want to go from Auckland direct to Lima, Peru? If I have 50 people, if I only have 50 people on Wednesday that want to go from Auckland, New Zealand to Lima, Peru, for me to operate an aircraft that is capable of that, I'm going to lose money if I'm only flying 50 people.
Oh, okay, the money thing, okay.
So what you do is you say, okay, well, cool. I've got a lot of people that want to go to the United States. I can carry them into LA. I can throw these 50 people there. They can link up with a flight from LA to Lima, Peru, and voila. I make more money.
But what about direct flights? Some of these are direct flights.
Ty, I can prove that that's a projection, though, real quick for
What's a direct flight? What do you mean some of these are a direct flight? No flight in that video you're showing is a direct flight. There are multiple stops by multiple different airlines. They're not even the same airline. You stop, you get off the airplane, you lay over for a few hours.
But why? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Completely different airplane.
But why go from the southern hemisphere? Go ahead, K-Bone. Go ahead.
I took a flight from New York to Chicago to Puerto Rico. That makes no sense. But that's the flight I bought. That's how I bought it.
But if you look on a flat, Earth
map, I could have went straight from Puerto Rico. I could have went straight from Puerto Rico.
New York to Chicago to Puerto Rico is a straight line.
Not on a flat Earth map or a globe.
It was just a cheaper flight. Go that way, get off, get on a different plane, and go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is southeast.
I could have went from New York straight to Puerto Rico, but that was filled up.
To be clear, Ty, Puerto Rico is southeast of Florida. Like basically as far east as you can go in the Caribbean Sea.
But herein lies the question: why? Because it makes no sense. Why would you go from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere, back to the southern hemisphere again? Why? What's the point of that?
Because those are multiple stops operated by multiple different airlines based on where people want to go in the most efficient.
This is what I'm going to get you at. Because all these that I'm showing in this video, these are emergency landings.
They're not. That's not an emergency landing. That is not an emergency landing.
It literally says 16 emergency landings. What are you talking about?
That, but he's the one that wrote it.
They're not emergency landings.
So this is my thing. So you basically just gonna disregard everything that I show without showing it. I mean, I don't get what you're saying. You just saying no.
I'm not disregarding. I'm telling you, I have researched that book.
I just wanted to bring up something about these maps.
And most of them are not a good bit of them that are being played off as an emergency landing are not emergency landings. They are not
So
emergency
hold on.
landings. They are actually multi-leg, multi-airline flights with
No,
planned
it literally
layovers and
says
plane changes.
16
Ty,
emergency landings.
they're not emergency
by
landings.
Eric
They're
Dubay.
connection flights.
Hold on. So you
Ty,
telling me just because? Hold
Ty,
on. Let
is
me ask
it
you a question.
is it is it
Go ahead.
possible that the guy that wrote the book is lying or misunderstanding what he's actually writing about because he's not a pilot?
Yes.
This is
Look,
all
hold on.
from
Yes,
the
but
guy.
is it also possible that?
Ty.
Go ahead.
Ty. The
This is
guy that
crazy.
wrote that book says that the direct flight from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia does not exist. Even though you can go buy a ticket on it, there are videos of people flying on it, but he says it doesn't exist.
So here's my thing.
Because it was disproven.
So just because you don't believe it, that makes it false?
No,
No,
I have
but
researched
That's what it sounds.
this.
That's what it sounds
I
like.
have,
It sounds like y'all
There
saying.
is a
but
direct
Ty,
flight
but Ty,
here
can I
from
can I
Peru
can
to
I
New
can I
Zealand.
I
But
have
we're
do you
not
have
talking
the
about.
do you
But
have
we're
the
not talking
Gleason
about
map
direct
by any
flights. We're
chance?
talking about emergency landings.
It's
Ty,
not
do
an
you have the Gleason
emergency
map to pull
landing,
up?
Ty. The only one that he got right about an emergency landing was
Oh my
from
God.
Taiwan to LA.
So look, let me ask you a question, then, JT. Let me ask you a question though. So I started live off right, showing credible commercial pilots, but because you don't believe what they're saying, it makes it false. Because there are hours of pilots.
No, it's hearsay,
Not.
Ty.
There's not.
It's hearsay.
But how's it?
A
But so
lot
you're
of
telling
them,
me that?
okay,
Okay.
a lot of them are being asked questions, and they are giving the most direct response based on.
No, they're not, man. What you can't. So you telling me that you know what's in the mind of every single person to answer that question? That's being
Actually, I
disingenuous.
do, because the first guy
So
in that
so
video,
because
the
you're
Delta
mixed.
pilot, the
So are
first
you?
guy,
So you telling me you
the
are
first guy in
you
your video, I know him personally,
right?
and he laughs
Okay,
his ass off about
that's
that
one guy.
video all the time.
That's one guy.
Ty, did he even look at
Ty,
that
you're
video I
just
sent you?
saying a guy said a thing, therefore it's true. Maybe we
But
should get off the pilots because
yeah,
we
That's
can't
what I
argue it your side and our side. So move on to some
that's what
credible,
I meant by that.
actual
Like
evidence.
I would
JT
love
is a
to.
pilot. Why is
I
he
would love
These
to.
flights, we
why
can
isn't
address
JT
these
credible?
flights all day, right?
JT810, have you seen the curve?
Yes, I have. I've seen it numerous times.
You have, yeah.
JT, is it
Here,
a
Paul, I can
globe
show
or is
you.
it flat?
It's a globe.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
now I have one pilot, and I'll ask Alex later.
Ty,
I have
Ty,
two
look at that
pilots.
video I sent you. I'm
All
about to
right,
pull
I'm
it
gonna go
up.
to it now.
Paul,
It's a globe. Our flight planning is based on a globe.
Paul, I know it's a bit of a
Everything we
stretch,
No,
do
I
but
in
still want to believe
aviation
you, man.
is
I want to
based on
believe
a
you.
globe
But
model.
JT, forget that video. We get that. Pull out the Gleason map.
The
can you
what?
hurry the
The,
volume down?
Number two
your
is
flat
a
Earth
flat.
map.
No, it's not.
No, I don't
So
claim
hold
to
up.
be
So
flat. I
so
don't
can I
claim to be flat.
hold up?
I
Let me ask
claim
one
the
question real quick. One
nineties.
question.
I
One question.
believe
One
the
question.
nineties.
One question.
You know.
I'm gonna ask one question. So is it possible that she could be trolling?
He said he saw.
Ty,
Is
get
it
off the
possible? Is
pilots
it
and let's
possible?
talk about evidence,
But I'm
not
saying, see, you know
hearsay.
what I'm saying, man.
Okay,
We're going around in
if
circles,
they
Ty.
say it's a globe, they have to because they'll lose their job. But if they say it's flat, they didn't lose their job.
But I'm
It
saying
makes
no, no,
no
no.
sense.
But I'm saying, but we're trying to be. I'm trying to be fair minded in this argument. You telling me because evidence that I showed it could be trolling, but can she also be trolling?
Okay, Ty.
Ty,
Okay, let me
Yes or
explain
get
no?
this to
onto
you.
actual
Okay.
evidence.
So real
Y'all
quick.
go, man.
So
Y'all
real
people are tripping.
quick.
And who? Hey, JT,
This is why I
JT.
should host these lives so they get
Look
straight to
on the
the
bottom of
point.
that globe right there.
Yeah,
Tell me what it say. Turn the
this is
globe
why
upside
you
down. Tell me what it says at the
hosting
bottom.
was
At the bottom,
exactly playing into your
it
hands
literally
because
says nothing. But here, you can make
Okay, you don't say what right there, man.
you want to know what this globe does have? It has a scale that
A legend.
shows it has a
Oh
legend
God.
and a scale that means this globe is to scale.
and Ty, let's
Did
talk
you think
about
all globes were
evidence
for
Yeah, go on.
decoration
Speak
only?
about
Did you
it.
fall for that?
Evidence, yes, evidence. It's
that's
all
just
evidence.
been presented. What your evidence that you've brought so far is just people
I didn't bring
saying a
evidence.
thing. And no, exactly. So
Nope.
let's talk about it.
Ty.
There's something you mentioned to
So
JT. You said well, sorry, someone asked JT if he'd seen the curve. We've all
Yeah, I
seen the
did.
curve, Ty, but you're misinterpreting it. So here is a lovely little illustration I just did. Here is your flat plane of existence, along there. Here's a nice skyscraper. Here's one guy. He can see that distance. We can all agree that that distance is longer, but they can both see the boat and they both see this, which is really nice.
So
And then here is reality. If you went higher, you can see further because you're seeing over the curve. And so this guy up here, this guy, he can just see the boat. This guy, he can't see anything.
So
Yeah, Ty said he was going to put that video.
really quick is go back to that flat Earth line that he drew from where it showed the Auckland, New Zealand to Lima, Peru flight. Let's go back to that really quick.
Yeah, while you're pulling that up.
Okay.
Yeah,
so see that line right there on the globe? See how straight that looks? See it? Auckland to Lima, Peru. See that?
Right.
See the question mark line? Okay.
Right.
So here's Lima, Peru, right here where my thumb is. Okay.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to go around the other side to Auckland, New Zealand. Right there. And I'm going to pull that string tight. Look at the way that looks. Look where that line is going. See that? It curves.
But you stopped in Los Angeles though.
Down.
But you stopped in Los Angeles for what?
No one's stuck in Los Angeles. I'm showing you what that line would look like going straight.
No, you stopped. No,
Ty,
the globe right here.
Ty, you're ignoring that there's flights that go straight. You're picking a flight that made a stop. Why are you not talking about a flight that goes straight like he is?
These are emergency landings. This is the best way to prove it.
That's not an emergency landing. Here, I'm going to show you the flight right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the exact flight right now. We're going to look this flight up live.
Right. While
and I'm going to show you the exact flight that he used.
Yeah. So while JT pulls it up, I just want to remind you, Ty, not only did I send you a video of more than 20 pilots saying it's a globe, not only do I have a pilot in here right now saying it's a globe, not only do I, last time we talked, I brought in Alex, PUSB, also a pilot that says it's a globe. Me that worked in an aviation, I'm not a pilot, but I worked there. I've talked to like more than 40 pilots, all say it's a globe.
And Ty said he was going to tag us in a video of boat and then being zoomed back in.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. Let's see.
What happened?
Let JT explain this first. Put JT on the big screen.
Go ahead, explain it. You explain it. So you go ahead and explain it, JT.
Let's do tomorrow, the 5th of August. Doesn't matter when we return. So we're doing Auckland, New Zealand, Lima, Peru, Lima, however you want to say it. Let's look at the flights.
Ty, can you put JT on the big screen?
Yeah.
I got you. Going over the horizon.
In 1 second, I got you, JT. Hold up. Let's see. There you go. You muted. I don't know why you're muted.
Yeah, go.
He's
in there.
Okay. I hear you now. JT, you muted, JT.
Yeah, I muted. Sorry, I had a phone call. So when I look up Auckland, New Zealand, to Lima, Peru, this is departing tomorrow. So just like I said, LATAM and Qantas, okay, code share. Auckland to Lima with one stop, right? So if I click, look how cheap this is, by the way, $1,640 US round trip. So when we go, just like I said, we go from Auckland, New Zealand to Santiago, Chile, from Santiago up to Lima, Peru. Now, if I want to look more, I can look again. Let's see. Air New Zealand, here we go. Just found it. Air New Zealand. And then, like I said, out of LA, it either goes with LATAM, right? This case, it's LATAM under a code share with United Airlines. I'm not going to explain. So you go Auckland to Lima, It's got a 4-hour layover. Where at? In LAX. So you're flying Air New Zealand from Auckland to LA. You're changing flights, changing airlines. You're getting on LATAM Airlines, and you're going from LA to Lima, Peru. That's not an emergency flight. That's a flight that is planned that way because Air New Zealand doesn't operate a nonstop flight. It's not a cost-effective flight. There aren't enough people wanting to go direct from Auckland to Lima, Peru. Now, where a lot of people do want to go is Sydney. I already showed you the LATAM flight from Auckland direct to Santiago, but we can go Sydney to SCL, Santiago, one stop or fewer, right here. It's leaving tomorrow at 12:35 Sydney time, gets into Lima, Peru at 12:05 p.m. the next day. Direct flight, nonstop, Sydney to Santiago, Chile. Now,
Gotcha.
If we go look at this flight, 1 second.
I got it, but I don't know how to fucking film it.
What is that?
So we have to accredit that he already proved that that's not an emergency flight. It actually happens all the time. That's been proven.
We also have to look at numbers here. That flight
So we could already.
one day. The flight from Peru to LA, that happens 8 times a day.
Here is this flight.
Who's that speaking?
Okay. This is the one that's actually expected to depart in 4 hours. So I can go over here and I can look at its flight plan. Let's see. Get alerts.
You're an Aussie advertise, yeah.
Here we go. Let's look at the one from Sunday. It's going to give me what route it actually flew. So this is the way it actually looks. And again, if I pulled a string on a globe from here to here, you would see that it arches down like that. But the neat thing here is I can actually go and look at the route that it flew. And when we get to here, so this is 44 degrees, 27 minutes south, 161 degrees, 18 minutes east. Those are just Latin line coordinates. So if we look, we can see what's the furthest south this flight went. So there's 66 degrees south. That's about the furthest south this flight went on that specific day. And it actually goes further south than that. There are some flights where it goes way south. And when I say way south, I'm talking like 70-some degrees south. It's probably going to be the reciprocal, which is Qantas Flight 28, which is Santiago to Sydney.
Yeah, first spanner in the works. Do you believe we went to the moon? Yeah.
How would you do the coordinates?
Before that,
Yeah.
I want to
The coordinates the coordinates JT just showed. How would that work on flat Earth?
What you mean how? I just how it works.
Like especially if it was a northern flight. You can't go anything other than 90 degrees because you guys have north at the center.
So here we go. They went to, on this specific flight,
Up in logistics, man.
they got down to around 61 degrees. I mean, you can look at the routes these flights are planned to go and the routes that they flew. This is all data reported by the aircraft.
I didn't say it wasn't. I agree. So, but the direct flight on your flat Earth map is not what all safe planes actually do.
Not only that, the flat Earth map only has those lines drawn, but you guys don't have any data. Like JT just showed data Show some data with
Start
the flat
saying
Earth
flat
thing.
Earth and give you Globers a little chance to have a dig at someone.
Hey,
We
Ty, can
don't
you
know
kick
it's
Paul?
flat. No flat Earth in this world knows it's
Fucking
flat. No one
operator.
knows. No, there's lies.
Okay,
We're
so
living in a ball of lies,
I
man.
need to address the
Wake up.
somebody asked me
Prove the
about the show.
globe.
Somebody
You're
asked
all
me about
clever guys. Prove
Yo,
that
Ty,
there's a globe.
Can you kick Paul?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a 4v1. I don't even know why.
Yeah, well, I mean,
can I do what?
it doesn't matter to me.
Kick Paul.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
No,
to
no,
me
no.
either.
I just want to address. I want to address something real quick.
You're all
So
clever
they asked me about
guys.
the boats
Prove
on
the
the
globe.
horizon, right? I want to address it why the video went right
So
now. I'm gonna address
so Ty, can I predict what you're about to show?
it. Sure.
You're gonna show a video that's zoomed out
Mm-hmm.
so we see the beach and the waves crashing on the beach and we don't see a boat. And then we're gonna zoom in and see a boat. What we're not gonna see is a boat that we only see the top of and then zoom in so we see the bottom. You're gonna show us
Yeah,
the
and I
beach
explained
through a
I
wide
explained that to
angle
him
lens.
already.
What you're about to
Oh,
show is not the
oh.
claim.
See, they won't see this. This wrong, with y'all go. Y'all swear y'all know what to
And
do. Actually, I'm gonna show you a
just
video where you see the boats. We're gonna zoom in. Can I show it?
no.
Yeah, go
But
Yeah,
yeah,
ahead.
but
sure.
what we're saying is it going to be over the curve and then it brought back up?
Correct.
But see, this is my thing, man. Like,
I
this is
have
my
to
problem.
spend a lot of time
This
out
is
in
my
the
only
ocean.
gripe. This is my only gripe that I have with y'all. Before you present the evidence, you all dismiss out the window.
Because
Y'all don't
we've
objective to
seen
this
it.
stuff. You're not objective.
No,
I'm
Yeah,
brother,
objective because guess
you're
don't
what?
not
ever
the
think
first
that
person to
way.
show us this. That's the point.
Why
But
don't
I'm
Everything
you
trying to
you
tell
just
you.
show,
go for it and then we can
Uh,
tear it apart?
this is
go
crazy.
ahead.
Yeah.
I
That's
just wanted
easiest.
to predict because this was done actually earlier today too. Go ahead.
Y'all ready? Or
Yeah.
can I go?
Yeah.
Switch
Get on the
yourself
Okay.
back to
computer.
the big bucks.
All right. I'm finna switch back.
I wish I was hosting, man. I could just boom, boom, boom.
Okay. I'll switch. It ain't switch back. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Before I show this video, I'm gonna ask y'all a question now. You gotta get everything straight. Do y'all know about perspective?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
that's all I
You
want to
can't put
know.
the
Now here
camera
we
under
go.
the
Here we
table, by
go.
the way.
Here we
Do
go.
you, do you know about angular size?
Now look. Now hold up. I started
Mm-hmm.
the video off with you seeing the boat's there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I started off with the boat there. When I started off on the beach, I started off with the boat in the view.
Yeah, let's go. Let's see the whole
Okay.
thing.
Okay. Now here we go.
The
Oh,
boat's there.
Eric Dubay. Yeah, the angular size just changes because he zooms
Yeah.
out to wide. So you did the
Wait,
reverse of what I said, but now we see
show us
waves.
Correct.
That's
show us
not the
the
claim.
boat. Show us the boat halfway missing from bottom up, and then zoom it back in.
I got more video. Okay. You're
That
right.
boat
Okay. Let's
hasn't
go.
gone over the curve yet, is the point.
Okay.
All you're showing is something too
Don't worry.
small
I
for them
got
to
more.
I
see.
I
mean,
got.
you're literally showing a boat that may be 2.5 miles away at most.
Oh, come on, man. Y'all
Well,
see.
no, it's not. Listen, dude, I spend every
But
weekend that I'm not working, I spend out on the ocean. And when I say out on the ocean, I'm talking hundreds of miles out in the ocean fishing.
but
You're
Ty, is it
showing a
disappearing?
boat.
Is it
That
disappearing from the
boat,
bottom up on
Lucky
that video
that
bastard.
you're showing?
that boat is no more than 2.5 miles offshore.
And JT, that's why I hate you because I'm so jealous that you get to go
Ty,
fishing
Ty,
every week.
Ty, let's just be honest though. Zoom it back into the beginning.
All right. I will. Hold up.
Yo, if we can just take
All right.
pictures of JT doing it.
Let's just go step by step real quick. Look, beginning, put us back to the
All right.
beginning.
Perspective, mate.
So the part that you said, can we see the boat?
I mean,
That
I
boat's not
start off
that
with the
far
boat.
either. That may
Yeah,
be
no,
maybe
put that
4
back on.
miles.
Where it started with the boat, put that back on that part.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'll pause. Hold up. You talking about right here?
Yeah, where it shows the boat.
Now there's the boat right there.
Yeah, is that boat under the water right now? Is it behind the curve right now?
She asking if flat Earth is the boat behind the curve.
Is it? You know how I told you it disappeared from the bottom up. Right now, has it disappeared at all? I can see
No,
the
it
whole
hasn't.
thing. Okay,
Because it's yeah. Because
But you said
Go ahead.
you could bring it back after it goes over the curve, that you could just zoom it back in. I don't see it under the curve right now. I don't see it disappearing from the bottom up right now. I can see the whole boat.
Okay, I got you. I got seen the more video. I got you. Don't worry. Okay, here we go. Y'all factor this boy. I swear to God. Y'all go versus the shrimp. Y'all shrimp. Matter of fact, hold on. So how would you want me to prove the distance that the boat is from? That you trying to say? Because that's the whole crux of the argument,
No, because you said
right?
that after it disappears from the bottom up, that it could be zoomed back in. But what you showed right now, it did not disappear from the bottom up yet.
I'm trying to figure out what do you mean.
Like, I want somebody
Just explain to me one more time. I'm
to
trying to. Go
record
ahead.
the boat going like disappearing from the bottom up, and then zoom it back in.
Yeah, like
Okay.
a sailboat where you only see the mast.
Yeah, and
The
then
mast
zoom
of
it
the
back
ship is all you see.
Gotcha. Let me pull it up. Gotcha.
You don't ever
Let
see
me
that.
show you an example. 1 second.
I mean, I have numerous oil rigs that are 200 plus feet above the water.
Exactly, Josh. That's what we want to see. We want to see half the boat missing, and then it zoomed back in completely.
That
Here, Ty, look at my screen for a second.
I can't see from my shoreline, and they're 50 miles away.
I'm
Right,
curious
Ty,
why I've
looking.
never seen Cuba from Key West.
Give
Right.
McGlobes to the yeah.
All right. So this is what he's talking
I
about. 1
got you.
second. So right there, you can see it
That can't be
disappearing.
zoomed back in no matter what.
Right. So what we want is when it's going bottom up, we want you guys to zoom back in and see the whole boat again.
All right. I get
That's
what
what
you're
we
saying.
want.
I get exactly what you're saying. Let me pull it up. I got something. Let me pull it up. But y'all go ahead and just finish your video real quick while I put it up.
Next video. I got another one.
This is crazy.
Okay, so
So
I
while I'm putting
actually
this up,
don't
man,
have much longer. My kids will be home in a bit from school and all. So
yeah,
I
mine's
had
just at
actually
home.
about an hour or whatever. So
By the way, man, I'm glad school back in. By the way, 'cause I keep saying privacy. Okay, so once again, before I show this video, I'm trying to pull up the ones you're talking about when you see it actually go.
I know it doesn't exist so much that I'm not even worried that you're gonna find it.
Wait, hold on, time out because
I literally
you
today, if he
the whole
was able to
page.
show this, I'd become a flat earther on the spot.
Yeah, I told him the same thing. He said he's
You
gonna tag me.
wouldn't.
He said, I
You
got you.
wouldn't.
I'm gonna tag
You
you.
wouldn't.
That
No,
was 3 weeks, 2 weeks
I
ago.
definitely would.
No,
If he,
because no.
I would.
No, I'm telling you, no. I actually posted a video, but they muted. They copyright muted. They copyrighted it, so I couldn't post it on TikTok.
I mean, I spent about 15 months between 2014, 2015, deep diving into all this flat earth stuff, and I found nothing that I couldn't debunk and show was just misexplanation, misunderstanding, intentionally being deceitful, or outright just making
Yeah, I mean, twisting
words.
But
to prove that as a
my question
projection,
is, so
alone, like Ty, why does the Alexander Gleason have an equator? The equator is an imaginary line to split it in half. Why is it just right after 30 degrees an equator and then 30 degrees again? Why does that happen on the Alexander Gleason?
you saying what? Now you saying she's about the circle, the top lines of recent map, the equator
Why
on the
does
recent map.
why does it have an equator? It goes 30 equator and then 30 again. Those 30s are the exact same size, even though it's the outer circle.
No, it's not the same size.
Yeah, but it is.
in reality, they are. What he's saying.
You have
Yeah,
an equator on a flat map. The reason we have one is an imaginary line that splits it in half, north and southern. Why do you have one on the Alexander Gleason? It's not splitting anything in half.
I'm trying to put the video up real quick. But
And
I'm
it all of
saying
a sudden
so
and it starts over for no reason. It goes 30 equator and then it starts over at 30. Why?
because you gotta think that when we're talking about the globe, your globe measurements, measurements, they're vastly different because y'all would say that Antarctica. How,
No, no,
how,
no,
how
no.
big the
I'm
Antarctica
asking
is?
why is there an
Wait, hold
equator?
on. How big is Antarctica?
You know what I'm saying? So let's say you want to go. So let's say you want to go
Well,
around Antarctica. How many miles is it?
Antarctica is like 13,000 some odd miles in circumference around its perimeter.
Okay.
Yeah,
So why
depending
do
on
no,
how
why do
far
no
away
direct
you are
flights?
from.
So why nobody
But
flies over
but that's
Antarctica?
another thing
Why would
you
they?
can look up that you'll never find, Ty.
Why would we?
Look up why
Yeah,
would you have an
there's no
equator
point.
on a flat map?
Let me just show you now. I'm gonna
Go ahead,
turn
show
my globe around.
There's literally no route that we fly that would take you directly over it.
It's crazy.
There we go. So, which flight would go past Antarctica? Like, you know, there's no point. There is flights that go to Antarctica, but not over because there's no need to. You know what I
No
mean?
need to.
No, I mean,
So okay, so look, so go back to
Go on, Tyron, get him.
in the landmass. Go to in the landmass right there. You showed me. That's close to the South Pole.
No need to.
Show
what?
me a landmass on your what do you call it, globe thing. Show me the nearest landmass to the South Pole. So I'll show you something.
What, New Zealand?
Okay, yes, we go to be so okay, cool, boom. So y'all telling me
The
that
nearest is actually South America.
boom, stop right there. So you telling me that? So what's that on the bottom? Come down just a little bit. Extreme, come down just a little bit. No, down. Like not down like that. I mean down as in moving the camera down to show the other landmass. Yeah. No. All right. See, look. So what landmass is that on the bottom right there? I
That's
can't really see it.
Antarctica.
No. No, you
The
don't see what I'm
big
saying. The
continent
landmass
right
right there,
there, that looks like Australia.
It's
Australia,
Antarctica.
right?
It's Antarctica.
So
This is
no.
this
Right
is
there, bam,
Australia.
right there.
Oh, you
Australia,
want me to
right?
confirm Australia? You confirm.
That's Australia.
Yeah. So you telling me
Are
that
they going to fly
Australia
around?
to now go on the opposite side of the ball and see what landmass on the opposite side of that.
I'll film it now.
Likely
So
South America.
Should be South
there you go.
America.
What Tyron's trying to say, are they going to fly around to Australia? Or are they going to fly over to Australia?
Just gotta flip around.
Why?
We got the North Pole. What do you want to see?
So you telling me that there's no flight that would actually be shorter from one landmass to the other landmass on the opposite side of Antarctica? That what you trying to tell
I'm
me?
Is
saying that they
is
don't have to go over Antarctica. There is a flight that like goes
They
to the
are.
edge of Antarctica.
Yes, the flight from Melbourne to Johannesburg and the flight from Sydney to Sao Paulo go right by the Antarctic shoreline.
Yeah,
Why?
what I meant is that none of them go like
Over
directly in
it.
the middle because it's
Yeah,
kind of no
What
point.
goes over it?
you don't have to.
Right.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay, that's what you're saying now. Okay, so my
But
another
there
question
are
about Antarctica
flights.
is
There are flights that have flown across it.
Why?
I would love to see
Several
that. What are
flights.
those?
Search it on
Go
YouTube.
ahead with
There's a
that one.
lot of flights that
Let's
go.
see.
Uh,
Orbit, Pan Am Flight 50, Tag Transpolar. There's been several flights that have gone over it.
So okay, so when it comes to the curve, so does it? Do y'all not? So the globe Earth calculator not a real thing?
it is real.
How do y'all decide the curvature? How would you decide? What formula would you use to describe the curvature of the Earth?
Let me
There's
pull it
1
up.
degree per every 69 miles.
No. I'm saying what formula, like formula. We put in some numbers. You know, what
So
formula do you actually use to
8 inches per
prove
mile
this curve?
squared does 8 inches per mile squared does not
1
describe
square mile.
curvature.
It's a
Describes
I
parabola.
didn't
drop.
say that. I didn't say that. I'm
Right.
asking you.
So
What do you use to describe curvature?
So the way it's typically done on a regular basis is either in degrees or arc seconds. There are other ways to do it if you want to get into deeper math that Blitz was talking about earlier today. But I don't think most of us on this
Math is
live are.
math is not making anything true. It's just math.
Well, I mean,
Yes, but you showed pictures with lines. Come on.
Right. You
Well,
use
what?
math. You rely on math every single day, Ty. Like everything you use on a
like you
I
showed
daily
see
us,
y'all
basis relies
misunderstand
on
what I'm
math.
saying. You misunderstanding what I'm saying.
but you showed
I'm
a
telling
picture
you that.
with lines and said, "Hey, this is emergency landings," and then
Hmm.
it was proven that they weren't emergency landings, and you just went on with the point. Can we admit that that boat
But I'm saying,
has lies in
but
it
I'm
now?
saying, but I can just evidence that the pilots say that the Earth is flat, but you just disregard that because you think that you know the
Yes,
answer to
because
it.
we're going on what we can prove. We proved that that flight exists and it's not an emergency flight. And the book says it is an emergency flight. So can we
Frequency
dismiss?
grows, huh?
Can we
Wow.
admit that that book told a lie?
Excellent.
No, you can admit that. How you gonna kind of admit that?
Because it wasn't an
Because
So,
he's
emergency
done the
landing.
so
It
research.
showed you.
here's my question. If the Earth is flat, why during early training to be a pilot do you learn about great circle routes and the effects of the Earth's rotation on certain instruments in the airplane, and all of these things that are part of a globe model? Why do you learn that in flight training if it's flat?
Okay, so if you do learn it right, which I'm not disputing that you don't, why are these other pilots saying something different?
Because they troll. We literally troll. If
It,
you
it,
came up to me, you've never
Oh
seen me.
my
If you
god.
walked up to me in my uniform between flights and you said, "Hey man, you're a pilot. How long have you been flying?" And I said da 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 blah blah blah, and you popped in on me. "Hey, is the Earth flat?" I'm gonna tell you yeah, and I'm gonna walk away. Why?
So hold up. So you
Why?
telling me if I walk up
Because
to,
the
hold up.
instant I tell you no, you're going to continue asking me questions and wanting
No, I
to
won't. I
debate
won't.
me.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is you being
That is
disingenuous.
what that is
I'm gonna
what
tell you how you're being
happens
disingenuous right now.
though.
You're being disingenuous. So if I
No,
walk
I'm
up to you
not.
as a
I've
pilot,
had it fucking
listen.
happen. You're going to tell
No,
me I'm
listen. No, this is what I'm saying.
disingenuous.
If I come
You're
to you as
going
a
to
Right.
pilot,
tell
right?
me I'm disingenuous
Because
when
I'm
I've
finna answer your question. Let me
literally
answer it.
had it
I'm answering you. I'm
happen.
telling you how. You didn't answer it. You go let me answer it. So you telling me that if I come up to you as a pilot, ask you how long you been flying this and the third, you'll tell the truth about that. But all of a sudden about her fat, you just that's crazy.
you
Yes.
you know
You know
why?
Why would
why?
you entertain
You
It's
know
that?
not.
why?
Because the problem with flat earthers is when they corner us in the airport and they ask us
And
and we
and,
tell
and
them no, they tend to want to keep going. But this, but this, but this, but this. And I'm sorry, unless you're going to
But
give me
you,
my
but you,
hour,
but
unless you're
you're
going to
you
pay me, unless you're going to pay me my hourly rate, which you can't afford, I'm not going to sit.
all earth all fat earthers
Well,
not
I'm
thinking like so
sorry.
you try to put us in a
The
broad
rest
spectrum.
of your
No.
the rest of your flat
Right,
earth
by
friends
Ty.
have ruined it then, because that is what happens.
Right.
But you're
And Ty,
assuming,
He has got a
that
not
point.
only,
every flat
no,
earther
no,
has the
one second.
same
Ty,
mentality, and we don't.
Ty, that doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, the pilots are trolling. I've even talked to pilots, not including
Come
the fact
on,
that
man. That's just
JT is a pilot.
but that's
Alex
it. But
last
that's it.
time is a
Your
pilot
biggest proof
saying it's
now
a
is those
globe,
pilots.
and
That's
they're
what you're
trolling.
hanging on to.
no.
And
You
I
keep
never said it
coming
was a
back.
proof.
You
I'm
keep
asking you
coming
why.
back to
So
that.
okay,
Is there anything good that you have besides pilots saying that? Because
So
the
there's
curve
so you
another
don't
video,
thing
agree with
you
the
Pop?
wanted to
curve
Yeah,
talk
video,
See,
about, and
because
again, I
the
got to
curve,
go
the
in here
curve
in a
video
little
you
bit.
said you had is obviously you could see the whole boat the whole time.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and
he
What
wanted
and
to
happened to
go
that
into
3
radar.
hours?
He wanted to go into
but
radar.
how?
So
oh yeah,
let's jump into radar for a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. We did jump to radar. Yes,
oh
definitely.
yeah. I've been
That's the
waiting for
easiest
this
thing
for
right
two
there.
weeks.
Okay, so can we admit that the video of the boat disappearing halfway and coming back in doesn't exist? Can we admit that right now?
He's not
Now you
gonna
can't admit
admit it.
that.
Just go
You can't
onto the
admit
It
that.
radars.
doesn't exist. I've never been able to do it.
Neither has
I'm
Ty,
familiar with
but Ty
that.
said he was going to tag me
But
in
this,
it,
this one asking you. But
and Ty
see,
said he did tag me in it, but it was muted. You can show it now.
I just
Let's
showed it
just
to
get
you.
into the radars because this
No, no,
video doesn't exist.
you showed the whole boat. It has to be like missing halfway, and then you zoom it back in.
Right.
Right.
Which,
Uh,
which doesn't
you try.
happen.
What you're basically saying everything that I show you is false when you're not even objectively listen to
Because
what
I
I'm
can,
We're
saying.
not.
all
We're
right. If you
saying
tell me,
you're
Ty,
not.
Ty, if you ask me, hey, can you show me the effects of curvature? And I said, hey, here it is. This boat is missing halfway from the bottom up. That's
Ah,
the effects of curvature. And you're like, no, all you have to do is zoom it back in. And you zoom it back in, you're right. You win the argument. So your part right now is zoom it back in. You could already see that the boat is halfway. Zoom it back
It
in.
doesn't matter.
Prove to me,
But all I'm saying, if you
prove
knew
me
the
that it's
distance
not
where the
the
boat
effect of
was, it doesn't matter
curvature.
how I zoom back in. Out. If you knew the distance tells you everything. The distance is
Prove.
the distance is the basis of the argument.
No. The argument was that the effect that when it's going over the curve, you see the effects of curvature. No matter what you do, you can now zoom it back in.
Right. Like
So
Ty, like
why
I
is
said
it?
earlier, when the boat looks
But
like
now,
this, I want you to zoom it back in.
Ty, if you're on the same spot, not zoomed in, but you take a drone or you just go up an elevator, you can see that boat again, the whole thing.
That's right.
So zooming it back in
I
won't
really
bring it
just,
back, but going higher would. That proved the effects of curvature.
Right.
you know you
That's
can do the
right.
experiment on your own, right?
It didn't
You
go
can do it
high.
too. You're saying that it's
Well, and
possible.
what I'm
We
asking
know it's
y'all
not.
is, if you, but look,
No.
if you're telling me that the globe Earth, well, if you're telling me that 8 inches per mile squared is not the real formula, what is your formula to prove it?
It is, but after like 100 miles, it breaks down.
But this is what I'm trying to say. We had to go 100 miles. The globe Earth formula says if you're a 6-foot person, you
So
can't see more than 3 miles.
it won't tell
Right or
you
wrong?
it won't tell you what you should or shouldn't see by itself.
It does. What you mean?
It doesn't.
Why y'all?
So you need to know the height of the observer, the height of the target, and
Exactly.
the refraction
Yes,
index.
Agreed.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
I wholeheartedly
I can
agree.
show you right now.
there's 4 things there that you need to include.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
go
show you
ahead.
in a
What 4
second.
things?
But they wasn't high, was they, Ty?
Right there, Ty. This is what you need: the observer height,
Right.
target distance, target size, refraction, zoom f. That's what you need, and the diagonal.
It was all there.
You get these, like the one of the Chicago skyline. I know you have that as a video, which I debunked. You got to get
No,
all
you
this information.
don't do that. You don't do that.
I did. It's still coming by.
No, so go back to that video. No,
Which I
go back to
found.
that video. No. We're gonna stay on this right here. Go back to the
No,
video where you demunk it.
I want to talk about radars because JT is
Oh,
not going
okay.
to stay for long. You
Go
can look
ahead.
at that video later.
Radar. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right, JT. He's probably doing something.
So what are the questions about it?
Okay, so this is my question. Okay, if
I
there's
wish
curvature, right?
that after every argument we could like just be like, all right, you're right or you're wrong. Like it was proven that you don't have that video. You should at least be able to be like, all right, right
If
now
I
you're
have,
right.
don't
I've
have
never
video
seen
again,
that
but
video.
there are other ways to prove it.
I know,
Just
but
like I
why
had a
can't
video,
you
there's
say?
still
But
other
why
ways
can't
to
you
prove
just
it.
say that? Why can't you just say that you've never seen a video like that?
Oh my god. Is that not an end all be all? There are other ways to prove it. There's no
It's not
curvature.
the end all.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
you're
the
not
end all be
listening
all.
to
I
Yes
me.
just
or
want
no?
to see.
Yes or
I
no?
just want to see Ty. I just want to see where you stand
There's
on
no
moral.
See,
Why
man,
can't
but
you just say I've never seen a video like that?
I showed you, man.
See what I'm
Last
saying?
time.
This is the
All
problem. You
right.
can't
But
admit
Can we
when
this
you're
talk?
is
We
my
can
wrong.
talk
problem with
about
you
it.
is, okay, look, this is my problem with
Wait, one
you.
second.
Is that the
No,
only
no,
way to
no.
prove it? Is that,
Forget
but
about the problem with
no.
me.
Is that the only way? But is that the only way to prove the curvature? Is that video? Or
No,
the other way to prove it? Yes or no?
no. That's not the only way. But does the video
There you go then.
exist?
So, oh, guess
But
what?
does
So
the
there you go then.
video?
Let's go to
But
another
have you
proof. Let's
ever
go to another
seen?
proof.
One
But
second.
have
Can
you
we
ever
just
seen the
forget about the
video?
curvature?
You
Wait,
said
one
the
second.
video
Can we just
existed.
You've got
I just
9
want you to
globals
admit
on your
that the
face
video never
here.
existed. That's all.
Ty, last time you were telling me, oh, why don't you explain the radar thing? You were really
I'm
strong
waiting for y'all to
about it. You
explain it.
really, yeah. So show the video that you showed me, and just show it to JT, and he'll explain
What
it to
Yeah,
you.
video? Talk about the radar?
let's have a look.
It was
Yeah,
about radar.
have a look.
I don't remember showing a video about radar. I don't remember a radar video. I don't remember showing a video about radar.
Yeah,
Last time,
I
last
didn't
live,
see
you were
one
saying, yo, how about these radars? Explain this. And then I'm
No,
gonna
no,
either.
say,
no, no, no. I
He
didn't say.
did say
I
on
didn't say.
video. He did
My
say
question.
on
Okay, let me
video.
ask you a question. That's just one
so
simple
what was the
question.
question?
It's about radar, right? So I'm asking you a question right now. As far as radar goes, if the Earth is a globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can radar signal go over a hump into the other side of the globe? Yes or no?
No.
What?
It has
Does
dead
radar? When
spots.
you're doing radar, does
Some
radar?
boats can lock onto other
He,
boats,
What I'm saying
like
is radars,
120,
he's
like
asking
lasers.
if radar
120
refracts.
mile away they can lock onto other
Are you
boats with a
asking
laser.
will
120
radar
mile. How do they
bounce
do that?
like a radio
Yeah.
communication like a HF frequency will?
No, I'm saying if you got radar, right? And you try to go to whatever you listen to with a radar. If there is a curve on the Earth,
Right.
with the radar go follow the curve and then go to what distance you're trying to go to. That's a simple question.
Will it follow the curve? No. Radar goes in a straight line.
There you go. There you go.
Yes,
We're right there then.
Okay,
So
what's your
if it
point?
goes in a
Because
straight
what's
line,
your
then
point? Because that proves nothing.
Why would you have a dead spot if it's flat?
Correct. There's a lot
We
more.
have a dead spot
The
because
the
of the curve. Why
radar's
do you have a dead spot?
the radar's range is dependent upon several factors. Most prominently, the power of the radar and the height of the radar's dish or antenna.
no,
And
there's a curvature. So you said
no,
radar goes in a straight line, right?
wait, did you just tell
Yes
me
or no?
no that the radar's range is
No, I'm
not
asking you.
based
Does radar go?
upon
No,
the
I'm asking you.
power?
Does a radar signal goes in a straight line? Yes or no?
Yes, it does. But again, it's
So I'm
not
asking another question.
proving anything.
If it goes in a straight line, and you could prove that a radar can go 100 miles from where it's at with over a supposedly curvature, would it not prove that the Earth is flat? Yes or no?
No, it actually doesn't, because show me that it detects something on the surface at 100 miles.
You're not understanding the question I'm asking you.
I am understanding what you're
If
saying,
radars,
and I'm telling you,
if radars
radar.
only go in a straight line, and there is a curve on the Earth,
Ty, do you agree if you go up higher, you can see further?
yes, I do.
So
Everybody
why
knows
is
that.
it different? Why is it
At
different
a
for a radar?
Because when you go higher
Oh
and the horizon goes to your eye level, that means it's flat.
The horizon does not go to your eye level. I've already addressed this topic.
Yeah,
Horizon does
we're on
not
radar.
go to your eye level at all. It doesn't. Never does, never has, period. End of it. It does not. You cannot show me one measurable image from altitude
your eyes, bro.
of the horizon at your eye level. It doesn't exist.
That was already explained with a photo from an airplane.
Either
I don't think I
way,
understand the concept of a physical horizon and an apparent horizon. I don't think I understand the concept of that.
well,
You don't.
horizon by definition is apparent because it's where the
But
surface
on
of
a
the earth
globe,
appears
but
to
on a
join.
globe, the horizon has to be physical.
Well, it actually is physical. When you're looking out, where the horizon appears to be is where the surface of the earth is in your line of sight.
Yeah, it's always physical to the observer.
The reason it is apparent is because it is dependent upon the observer's height. Because the higher you are, the further out you see, the further out the horizon is, and the lower it is from your line of sight. Now, back to your radar, because we're not going to gish gallop off of it. A radar seeing 100 miles is nothing. A radar seeing an object on the ground at 100 miles is non-existent, unless it's an airborne radar looking down. There is a reason we have this thing called a radar shadow. There's a reason why when we're flying aircraft in combat zones, we know at what distance is we're below a certain altitude, that radar will not pick us up in our aircraft.
I can see that. I can see that.
Radar shadow is created by the curvature of the earth. I can pick up an airplane at 100 miles away if it is at the right altitude. If that airplane is flying 10 feet off the ocean surface, I will not see it at all on a radar, period. Unless I'm getting a radar feed from an airborne warning system, such as an E-2 Hawkeye or an AWACS or some other airborne radar system that can feed its images back to my location. That's why when we utilize the Patriot systems and other air defense systems, they're scattered apart from one another. It is a big network of radar. They're not all stacked in the same area because radar has a limit to how far it can see because of its radar shadows.
Ty, if you can see, so what's the explanation? If what JT is telling you is something that you can quote unquote see, then what's the explanation on a flat Earth? Because
I conceded to it. I just conceded to it. No, I said I conceded, and I agree.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Now I'm finna go before y'all get off this line. I know you gotta go.
Like
Just one more question. Okay?
my radar on my boat is capable of seeing 40 miles.
I said I believe you. You know
I
what I just
can't
said?
see another boat out 40 miles, but I can
But
see
why you still arguing the point?
thunderstorms
I said I
out
believe you.
40
What's the arguing
miles.
point for? I said okay, I believe you.
Okay.
Then still have one more question before you got off the line. And you gotta go. So I'll ask one more question. So radar travel in a straight line. Do lasers also travel in a straight line?
Yes, lasers do, with the exception that if they hit the right medium, they will refract. We know lasers will refract. Lasers also diffuse as they get out from their source.
Okay, well, here we go then. Here you go. Here's the video.
Ty, can we just ask a question? What is your actual best piece of evidence? Because so far you've brought stuff in that's been debunked
I'm
quite
saying,
easily.
but okay, so
What can you
evidence
bring to
of.
us that you say cannot be debunked?
But I'm saying you asked me what's my biggest evidence of flat Earth or evidence of the particular thing we're talking about. We're
Okay,
talking
but
about
you're
flat
not
Earth in
actually
general.
bringing a good.
What's the
Do
deal
you have
with lasers
a good
now?
argument?
Would you agree that lasers go in a straight line, right? So if
Yes,
something's obstructing a laser, then you wouldn't. It'll. You understand what I'm saying? I know what I'm trying to say, man. I know what I'm trying
Yeah,
to
if
say.
it hits a certain medium, it's gonna refract.
Yeah,
Okay,
laser
so
is
I want to
just
hear
a
you say
different type of light.
now. Okay, you see this laser test? This is a real laser test, an experiment.
Show me.
Okay, man, hold on, Illuminated one. Make money on TikTok, bro. You gotta make. First of all, I got. I don't even make money on TikTok. Just 1 second.
Okay, anyway, let's ignore
So
the
here we go.
comments. What am I looking at here?
We're looking at
kilometers away from the laser, which is 6.2 miles. Not a big deal. As you can see from this online calculator, which is very accurate, the target hidden height would only be 8 feet.
boom. Now we're finna go now.
But Mike still shouldn't have been able to see it from inside his car. Now, all the footage you're going to watch was filmed by a cell phone. Not the greatest.
You're right. Yeah, there you go. Whoa.
Now,
Call him the laser.
That's where I was about to go. Show me the focal point of the laser beam.
what you mean the focal point? Somebody with the initial point where it's coming from?
The dead center point of the laser beam. Because as that laser beam, unless you've got a collimator that's strong enough to keep that beam super focused out at that distance, that beam is going to do just like a flashlight. It is going to expand its area.
Okay,
so you would have to properly do this experiment, which is where all the flat earthers fail, is they do not.
That's not true.
I'm
showing you experiment. I'm showing you one right now.
Correct. Show me where the center point of the light is. Show me the focal point of the beam. Not just that you can see it. I can see a flashlight from 12 miles away in the right circumstances. That doesn't mean that I'm seeing the center point of the light where it's hitting.
You're making it more complicated what it is. The laser going in a straight line or
I'm
not?
not making it more complicated. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Ty, you're just simply not understanding how light works,
No,
and that's
I understand. But
no,
I'm saying
that's why to make
Hold
precise
on. Here,
measurements,
make
we're
me the
not
big screen real
using
quick.
these types of
Let's
things.
see. Let me
all
turn
right.
off some lights.
All right, I got you.
All right, make me big screen really quick. Watch out, Chase. All right, see that laser?
Mm-hmm.
All right, see how small it is?
Right.
See the focal point of the beam?
Gotcha.
Okay, now watch when I back up what happens to it. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That focal point starts opening up. Yes, you will be able to see the light, the diffused light, but in order to do the experiment properly, you would have to locate the focal point of that beam.
I can do a experiment right now while you're right sitting there. So go back to how you're doing it again with the laser.
I just put my laser down.
No, I'm saying, understand. So put it like this, you know how you did the laser, right? So if you would put something between that laser and the door you're pointing at, would you be able to see the other side of the door? That's my only question.
So if you shine the laser, here's
No.
the correct analogy, Ty. So let's say you're shining the laser at the top of the door from very far away. Part of the door is going to block the bottom part of the light, but the other part of the light is going to go over the top, which is exactly what's happening in your video. You're not seeing the entire laser, you're only seeing part of the laser.
But
And
it can be
you
proven.
can't be
I'm just saying,
sure.
if you
You can't be
would have
sure.
took
This is why surveyors don't use lasers to measure 6.2 miles, because they're not going to get an accurate reading.
Correct.
Light bends.
you have to go 6.2 miles. You can prove well he had the laser going to the door. I'm telling you, if you put something between the door and that laser, would you ever see the laser on the other side of the door? Yes or no?
You're
No, if
missing the
light hits a
whole
physical.
point of what
Oh
I
my
was
god.
demonstrating.
Never a
I
straight
was
answer. Never a straight answer with
demonstrating
y'all guys.
how a laser opens up as its distance
But
gets
if
further
there is something
away.
physical between the laser and that door,
Right.
will you be able to see the laser from the door? It's just no question.
Not if the entire laser hits the physical object. But in your experiment in that video, the entire laser is not hitting the physical object. Only part of the laser is hitting the physical object. So it's not a true measurement of whether or not there's an object in front of you, because the light is spreading out and refracting through. You have no idea what the refraction index was, and if they columnated that laser. Like, those are two things you can't answer. So it renders the entire experiment, the entire observation, null and void, because we don't know those variables.
I can see that too. But Glowster, you say you refuse the shot line. Tell me what you're talking about, man. That's the easy thing to bump right there.
You can just
You
look
say
at my
you
YouTube video. I mean, not my
what
YouTube video, my
is it
TikTok
on
video.
is it on your TikTok?
Yeah, I can do it right here, actually. 1 second. Let me pull up the calculator.
All right.
I was gonna say something else. Yeah. So Ty, you also wanted to ask JT that do they
I got you.
do they fly the plane like it's a flat surface or whatever you said?
Right.
You said something like that. You said Ty that they treat the Earth like a flat plane.
Do they not?
No, we don't.
Somebody in that
How's it, guys? How you?
What's up, Shadow? What you got to say about this, man?
Good, man. I just want to give you a basic understanding of how lasers work and refraction and that stuff works with lasers. Go and check the double slot experiment, and you'll see how lasers react with obstacles in front of them, especially when they're going through the air.
What's the name of the experiment?
Double slot experiment.
I can barely hear you.
Double slit.
Double slit.
Oh, double slit. Double slit. Okay, double slit. Okay. Okay. I definitely will check it out.
It's very interesting. They actually got a lot of information on how lights work in particles and how it works with waves as well.
Gotcha. I wrote it down right here. Okay, so McGloston, about the skyline. What's up, the skyline video?
All right. Observer height. Let me just fucking. All right, gotta enter it. So yeah, I just gotta put in the details. Observer height 2 meters. Target distance is 9.6.
Ty, are you good on how light disperses over distance like a flashlight?
Inverse square law of light?
I don't know if it falls. Honest to God, I don't know if it falls into that, because
it's not the inverse square law.
No, it's the way light reacts. Inverse square law is usually what we talk about when somebody is talking about how come the moon is so bright from Earth, but it's not bright when you're on the moon. No, the way so I usually make analogies, examples pretty clear. You ever watch any of the Batman movies?
Yeah.
So what would your guesstimate be like, the bat signal when they got it on the roof, the big spotlight? So just throw out a number on how wide you think that is in diameter across.
What they actually see in the sky? I probably say
No,
about
no, 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 no. The actual light on the roof, the actual light, the actual floodlight.
oh, the actual floodlight. It's probably like no more probably like what 24, 25 inches feet at the most. Right?
Bigger than that, but we'll say 2 feet. So if the
Okay.
actual floodlight is 2 feet in diameter, when you look at
Right.
the reflection on the underside of the clouds in the sky, the actual bat signal, that's a hell of a lot wider than 2 feet, right?
Right.
So that's what the light does over distance. It gets wider, like a cone shaped from the source. So
I
that's
agree.
so to a lesser degree, that's what lasers do over distance also.
Ah, see, I see what you're saying now. I actually agree. Okay. Now that you say it that way, I totally agree with you saying now. Seriously, I ain't trying to BS you. I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of
Hey,
sense.
listen, I'm
And that
not
makes a
an
lot of sense.
engineer. I'm not a scientist. I just think of real world examples for guys off the street like us that aren't scientists and stuff. I just try to relate like that.
Yeah, I agree with that, man, because I don't like people who appeal to authority, you feel me?
Yeah.
Now that actually made a lot of sense. The way you put it, that makes a lot of sense. And I see what you mean by that. I see that's what you mean by that. It actually makes a lot of sense. Um so okay, so y'all have seen that dude that documentary not documentary, the news thing where somebody seen Chicago skyline from I forgot where the other side was. Y'all seen that, right?
From Michigan, yeah.
Um so is that perfection?
Can you put me on the big screen? Yeah, it is refraction.
Yeah.
You have to have
Okay.
refraction in there. I mean, there's no
I'm gonna put
such
you on the big
thing as no
screen.
refraction. 1 second.
It's refraction and how high the observer was. He was like
2 meters, maybe.
Yeah, he was pretty high off the ground on the dunes, like over 100 feet.
So this is the details of the camera that he took it with. So 1 second.
Right.
I need to, yeah. 500 millimeter, I think. I haven't done this in so long, I forgot. 1 second. Josh, help me out.
When you need help with?
For zoom F, which one do I gotta use? The lens, right?
Zoom?
Yeah, so I'm gonna drop, guys. I'm gonna go help out with the family. Kids just got home, so I'm still gonna be listening out. I might drop back in.
Cool.
Thanks
Keep
for
your
coming
nose
on,
3
Justin.
degrees down.
Show me the camera again. The camera
Yeah.
info. So it's going to be the millimeter. So the exposure times
550.
lens. It was a 500 millimeter lens. So put in 500 under zoom.
Right.
There. 500.
So, hey, Josh, I'm gonna send you a private text, just between you and I. There's something I wanted to do for this actually, but I didn't get it together, and all given the way my last week's gone.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, he actually showed the video, and it's the one where the guy's talking about the 2,700 feet a minute and 500 feet a minute, and that whole guy that says he's a military pilot, but yet I've talked to all my military buddies that are still active duty, and nobody's heard of him. So,
I feel on that one, man.
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff he's saying about pilots don't calculate a rate of descent and blah, 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 that's something we do on every single flight. So, yeah, just a lot of misinformation in that one.
No, man. Hit me up. You got my number. I'm around.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Cool.
Thanks for coming, JT. Alright, Josh, what do I put here? Diagonal. I forgot.
Diagonal FOV. I'm not. Unless it has it there.
Whatever. Alright. So I put in all the details for the thing, Chicago skyline. Now, I know you can change this to
Right.
miles, but I don't know how. But 60 miles to meters is 96,000. We got the target size. This is the tallest building that I used. And this is Chicago skyline. Refraction, 0.38, because there was I think they called it severe refraction or whatever. So there's the tallest building, and this is comparing it.
All right.
So you should be able to see it. And thank you for the roses, Alex. So you should be able to see the Chicago skyline right there. Sorry, it took a while. I forgot how to use this shit.
Oh, no. Oh, you good. You good.
So you got nothing to say about that?
You talking about was just show with the skyline thing? So you
Yeah,
use
so
refraction, right?
yeah. You have to have refraction in there. Even the guy, the
Okay, so
photographer, said that it was.
Yeah, there's never been a day in your life where you have experienced no refraction when you go
Right.
outside and look at things.
oh no, I didn't say refraction doesn't exist now. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I
Yeah,
never said that.
that's fine.
I wouldn't say anything stupid like that. I know it exists. I'm just saying it doesn't explain what my argument. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So done with that, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a thing. Yeah. All right. So calm down.
The level of
Loud
refraction
shit.
from day to day is so unpredictable. It's not even funny. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
I look at my weather app the night before for the next day, and it's like you got to wait for the next day because they're so off so many of the times. You know.
Oh yeah, because the air, the
Right.
part. I understand that. It's different factors to that.
The humidity, the temperature. Yeah.
Right.
So Ty, I want to talk about star trails, and you can just watch this video. Including the globe face. Good guy. 1 second.
Go ahead.
I'll pause.
You want to know why the northern stars rotate counterclockwise and the southern stars rotate clockwise, do you? Okay, let's do that. Flat earthers will have you believe that this doesn't even work on a globe. They'll do things like put CGI cartoons on the ball spinning the wrong way. The earth spins the other way. And tell you it doesn't work. But we can expose this lie for what it really is. If you were to have an observer on the northern hemisphere looking up and one on the bottom in the southern hemisphere looking down, which is really their up, but down in my video, you'll get opposite rotations of the stars. Notice the counterclockwise motion in the top and the clockwise motion down here. Both observers would indeed be spinning from west to east along the same path of the globe, yet we get different observations of star rotations. And while flare-sexuals will show you the rotation in the wrong direction and then act like it's impossible on the globe, well, no shit, you're doing it in the wrong direction. We can model it perfectly on a globe, simply with a string. Earth's globe. I love ya.
There you go.
Hold on. Go back to that picture. Go back to Go back to just the part of the video.
The star trail.
Yeah. Go back to the beginning of it. I just want to show you. I just want to talk about the thumbnail part.
Yeah, I can show you a picture of the star trails. I was like, star trails, northern versus southern.
If you want to see what that optical effect looks like without needing any toys, any cameras, any pencils, anything, I can show you.
Yeah, I would love to. Like I said, I'm open to anything, man.
There we go.
It's point of view is what it is. Perspective it's perspective. Looking north versus looking south.
Yeah, perspective. That's what I'm saying. Perspective is why I'm talking about with both sides. It's all about perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
So here it is, Ty. So in the northern hemisphere, it's counterclockwise. The North Star is Polaris, and then in the southern it's clockwise, being I think Sigma Octantis there in the middle, which somehow doesn't exist according to some flat earthers.
So, okay, if you think about it, man, that picture actually proves the Earth is flat. But I'm gonna go to something else. You see the Polaris, right? So why does Polaris ever move?
What?
Polaris
Why does
does
Polaris never
move.
move?
Polaris does move
Oh God.
in these photos. So if you take a long enough photo, the Polaris is actually going to make the circle as well. And Polaris wasn't always the North Star.
No.
Okay, so the picture right there, we see the move. So you're saying the north and the south move. Okay, so you heard Georgia Guidestones?
They were up for 40 years. What's the
Yep.
expect?
I have the coordinates actually.
It didn't move at all. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
It did move.
It's not going to move very much. Over 100 years, it's like a quarter of a degree, like over several hundred years.
Here we go. Ty, if you read over there, this was a study done on McToon, if you want to go search that up.
Right.
The Polaris position for 1850, 1900s, and 2017. 1850, you can see 88, 30, 35.28, and then the 1900s, 88, 46, 26.72, and 2017, 89. So it does change, but just very slowly, and I can show you why. Right here. What the fuck? There we go. So if you look closely, up close, things move faster, but when you look like in the back, right, it's a lot slower. But when you're when you're looking at stars, they're light years away. You know what I mean? So it moves a lot slower. That's why it takes so long for stars to actually move. But they do move, and you can actually see the positions for every star.
Okay, so you know about how the Earth rotates 1,000 miles per hour, right? Whatever. The four motions that the Earth has, like
15 degrees an hour, 1 year to orbit the sun.
So if we are, because the conventional, the so-called conventional science when it comes to that is every year we are probably like 1 or 2 billion miles from where we was at last year. You agree with that? Because we're traveling through space, right?
No, space between the galaxies is expanding.
No, I'm saying for instance, like let's say like where we at right now in space, right?
Our
So
solar
next year,
system that little video isn't accurate. So our solar system is rotating with everything in our galaxy around the galaxy's center. So we're basically on a huge carousel. The sun isn't a freight train with all of the planets trailing behind it.
So I mean, I'm just saying. So, but we are making all those motions. Why do the stars like perfectly go in a circle around
Because
Polaris?
those stars are also making all of those motions, and they're very far away.
Yeah.
As it was just pointed out, they don't go perfectly around us because they move over time.
It's not a good scientific explanation. To say that stars, no, you can't just say that. That's like, yeah.
Tight. The stars do move. That's been shown. The star Polaris moves slowly over time, and it also has its own small rotation. See, these things are measurable. They're observed. We've given you that information. We've given you the one that moves the least. All of the other stars move a lot. So star signs aren't where they were 2,000 years ago. Ancient artifacts pointing towards certain star signs are now pointing towards different ones. We know that the stars move slowly over time, so it's not that they're not moving. But if you were on a train moving very quickly through like kind of Midwest America, and you looked into the distance and you saw a mountain, you are going incredibly fast, and the trees close to you seem to be whizzing past you. Those mountains in the distance, however, even though they might only be X amount of miles away, they will look like they're moving very, very slowly. Now take that distance and put it on a universal perspective, and you can understand things at the distance, despite the fact that we are moving. They do look like they're appearing to move slower because they're far away. It's really something you can easily do yourself to understand that perspective.
I got another example if you want one.
Yeah.
You ever been to like a football stadium parking lot? You know, any huge stadium parking lot?
Yeah, I have.
So let's say your vehicle is parked on one side of it, right? And there's another, you know, everybody's left already, and the parking lot's pretty empty. Your car's on one side, and you see a car way the hell on the opposite side of the parking lot. Like, looks like a Matchbox car to you. That's how small it is, right? That's how far away it is. If that car was to move 20 feet forward from where you are at your car, wouldn't it look like that car moved ahead like an inch? Even though it moved ahead like 20 feet? Because it's so far away?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
But if we talking about scale, that's relatively small scale compared to Polaris and Earth distance between Polaris and Earth, though.
No, but I'm using that as an extreme example here on Earth. You could scale that up to what we're talking about. That, you know, from your point of view at your vehicle, that car that just moved 20, 30 feet, from your perspective, looks like it moved an inch or two because it's so far away. So that's what the stars are doing. Even the North Star Polaris, like, I don't know how many miles it's actually moving, but from our point of view, it's like it fractionally moved over, a year. Like, it barely didn't even change. It has. It's moved a hell of a lot, but because it's so freaking far away, from our point of view, it looks like it's hardly even moved. It's all scale and distance. That's what it is.
I agree with the scale and distance part. So, okay. This is one problem I have with the globe model, right? It's the sun. That's my biggest problem. So, do you actually really think the sun is not 3 million miles away?
I'm sorry, did you say the sun?
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, it's been calculated. It can be done by various math operations, which I haven't done personally, but I've been in lives where other gentlemen have done it. So yes, I totally believe it.
So do you also believe that I could use the Pythagorean theorem to kind of like
the Pythagoras theorem? Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I could use that to basically figure out how far the sun is from us.
I think so, because Pythagoras theorem, that's for calculating the side of a triangle when the other two sides are known, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I was in high level math classes literally a lifetime ago.
You can also utilize the angles to calculate. If you know one length, you can use one angle, and you have another angle, you can use that to calculate the side lengths.
Yeah, I think that's the minimum you need is one side and an angle, I think.
Okay, so here's an example, because me and Nicholas talk about this a lot right here. So let's just say you're driving the car, right? You thing, and you see like this would be a car like way down the distance, but you see the car, you don't see like one little ball of light, right? But you know it's a car, right? So, but as it gets closer, you'll see that, okay, first of all, it's not a ball of light, it's actually a car with two lights, and it's actually, when it comes past you and sees you, that's how you can figure out what it actually is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, for instance, like a train. Like, you see a train coming, and it looks like one just big ball of light. But as it gets closer to us, we're like, okay, no, it's a train because, you're closer to it, right? You agree with that?
Yeah.
So, you can't see it, or you can't get to it and touch it. How would you know exactly what it is? The point I'm making is, how do you know those stars are just burning balls of gas? How do you know the sun's burning balls of gas when you can't really know that for sure because you haven't actually gotten close to the sun and actually seen it for yourself?
So, Ty,
because
I think I can.
Hold on.
No, I get where you're going. I was just going to answer your question you just asked.
Yeah.
So, the electroscopy. Sorry, can anyone else hear an echo, or is it just me?
I think it's. I don't know. I have no idea who it is. But let me mute my mic.
I don't hear one. I don't hear one.
There's no echo on my side.
Good one. So, to find out what stars or anything using light is made of visually, we can use spectroscopy. So, let's give you all the toys to play with. You're saying that these stars are actually what, luminaries or kind of painted on the firmament, well, whatever they might be. Even in your model, we should know exactly what they're made of. Because of spectroscopy, we can tell what those light waves are being made from in those stars. So we know the basic composition of them. It doesn't make a difference whether it's a globe or flat. They are the same thing.
No, what I'm saying is, but see, so the example I used earlier, right, about the whole Polaris and in the parking lot of the football stadium, right? That's scale and distance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why can't we apply that to the sun and stars? We would know that if we can't get close to it, actually see it, we can't know what shape it is, how far it is, because we haven't actually got close to it. Because the
You do
train,
know
that's what I'm
that
saying, man. But you
did
can't
send
cherry
a
pick.
satellite.
You can't pick the argument about scale and distance. You could use that for Polaris, but you can also use that for everything else. So everything else will tell you that.
One thing we can say with certainty is that the Earth is not local. The Sun is not local to the Earth. That we can say with certainty. And the math just doesn't work on a flat plane with a local sun. The Sun would have to move at various different speeds throughout the year, ranging from around 700 miles an hour up to about 1800 miles an hour. It would spiral whilst doing that, up and down. And you say that our movements, you couldn't possibly believe that. How could you possibly imagine that we're rotating and orbiting, and our solar system is orbiting, and yet you expect people to believe that the sun decides exactly what speed it wants to go at that time? It also moves at different speeds for 3 different observers at the same time on an east to west line. Because if you had someone in New York, someone in Midwest America, and someone in LA, noon is quantifiable. We know when the sun is above someone in the sky. But
so that's not
the rate it takes to get the rate it takes to get there on a flat Earth is different depending on the observer. The speed changes constantly, and what you're showing is light penetrating through clouds to make it appear as if it's the other side of it. How is it possible that the sun can be moving at 3 different speeds for 3 different observers at the same time?
We don't say that.
The pilots. No. If it was true, if the flat Earth and local sun was true, it would have to. Also, you can't explain pilots being above the sun because it's setting below the horizon. The time, if there was indeed a sun.
I never said that. Why are you strawmanning?
No, I'm talking about the flat Earth argument in general, Ty. The things you have to believe if you believe the Earth is flat don't work.
Yeah.
So if you believe the sun is local, it doesn't work on the flat Earth.
That photo
doesn't.
That photo you're showing, also, you're only going to see that around sunrise and sunset, when the sun is low to the horizon of the Earth. When you're 12 o'clock noon, and anywhere around noon, midday, whatever, the sun is so freaking high in the sky. That's when pilots are either flying lower than the sun appears, or they're flying above where the sun appears. But you're never going to see a photo like you're showing now anytime like midday. You're only going to see it when the sun is just rising or just setting. It's low to the horizon, where it's low like we view the clouds to be low.
So the fact that we can actually see.
And so what that sun is doing right there, that sun is shining through any thin enough clouds that it can shine through. And if the clouds are thick enough, they're not shining through those thick portions. So that's why it looks like it's embedded like in a pile of cotton. It's just blasting. Okay, so if a bug was on your headlight of your vehicle and you put your headlights on, especially on high beam, are you going to see that bug when you're looking at your headlight? The headlight
no, you're not. But
it just shines through.
I mean, but if you just let's just
Ty,
look.
can I
Let's
get the
just
big
use our
screen?
let's
Can I
just
get
use
the
our
big screen?
common sense, man. You
Yeah.
you
Can I
really
get the big?
believe you a big screen?
Yeah. I want to show you a video.
Okay, yeah, but I just don't.
Ty, before you go ahead, your loaded comments constantly of, "Oh, you really believe this?" At
No,
this
bro. I'm
time,
still.
2 hours
You never
in,
didn't answer the
you
question.
have not supplied any actual evidence. You've had.
You haven't either. You haven't
Ty,
either.
you're the one making the
None of us
claim.
have.
You're
You want
making the claim. The burden of proof is on you. You have not shown us any
No, it's not on
actual
me.
proof.
No, see,
Or
look
what
up.
you've
No, no. You talking
misinterpreted
about
as
that bird?
proof
Look it up. No,
has been shown to be
the
incorrect.
definition. No, 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 no.
You've
The
admitted
burden
to a
of proof
few of
is on.
those things.
No, that's what I'm saying. Can I explain what I'm saying? The burden of proof is on somebody to prove something, not for me to tell you what it's not. If you're telling me that we have curves, you're telling me that the sun's not local. Prove it.
Everything we're explaining has been proved. If someone doesn't want to accept the evidence, that's on them, but it's been proved. I mean, you can deny anything. You could tell me my car's not black, even though it's black. You could tell me it's purple. I mean, you can deny anything, even though.
But this is what I'm saying though, because when like, once again, I don't know if you were here earlier. I don't know if you're earlier, but once again, when I showed videos of the pilots who are real pilots, they discounted. Oh, they're trolling.
Yeah.
That's not proving anything.
You had a pilot in here earlier, JT, for many years.
Yeah.
We have another pilot, Alex.
And
we have
I also
another
brought
pilot, Captain Savage, and I think we have another pilot that's not going to come to mind. We've got at least 3 pilots, 2 commercial pilots. And so what I always say is, I'm a wise ass. I'm a smart ass. If I was a pilot and anybody comes up to me and I'm like, they're asking me because
y'all not being.
Guess the kind of answer I'm going to give them because I'm a wise ass and I'm going to fool around with people. Doesn't mean what I'm saying is factual. It means you ask a stupid question, I'm going to give you a stupid answer because I'm a wise ass.
Yeah. It's not a stupid question because the question is.
Ty. So
why?
Wait 1 second, Ty. So you showed that video, right? And JT explained to you why pilots do it, and then I showed you a video. I brought in 2 pilots that said it's a globe. Me, that worked at an aviation. I'm not a pilot. I'm not saying that, but I talked to more than 40 pilots. They all say it's a globe. So you're saying your one video alone contradicts
but that's just one clip.
2 pilots that came in here.
TikTok only gives you 10-minute videos, man. I have a 3-hour video.
Pilots I showed you.
What video?
But this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Did you show a video where somebody asked the pilot, like, "Hey, when you're flying, how does the Earth look? Does it look flat to you?" Is that what the question was?
No.
Because if somebody asked me that question, I'd be like, "Yes, it does look flat." That doesn't mean it is flat. It means it looks flat.
He didn't ask it look flat. He said, "Is it flat?" He didn't ask it to look flat. But here's my thing, man. Like, okay, so I agree with this. If you feel like this is somebody trolling, and we can go through all that. We can agree to disagree about that. But once again, can I finish my point? My point is right here. Why do you see stuff behind the sun?
Yeah.
Okay,
I want to show you this one. Can you put me on the big screen?
So have you seen? There's been a number of people to recreate this right there in their bedrooms in their house with nothing more than a supply of cotton, like cotton balls, just a bunch of cotton and a sharp light, like a high intensity light bulb or a flashlight. And that's all you need. You need a bright light and a bunch of cotton, and you can recreate that photo right there.
Can you put me on the big screen?
That would make. So how you explain hotspots?
It's exactly how I explained it. The bright light is going to shine through the wispy, thin amounts of cotton, and it's going to get stopped by the thick enough areas of cotton, making it look like it's embedded 3-dimensionally within a pile of cotton. It's nothing more than
that. Put me on the screen.
All right.
That's why, if the sun is close enough to be in those clouds, how can it also be way the fuck up high around 11 a.m., 12 o'clock, 1 p.m.? How can it be both here and way the hell up here?
Because y'all are assuming the globe the globe
Right there, Ty.
mathematics. When we don't go by this mathematics, we don't think the
Wait,
sun is that
Ty.
big.
Listen to the video.
Watch this. This is just one of many I've seen.
We can all clearly make out the shape of the cotton I'm holding, right? No, we can't. As we can see, there are parts of this that are thinner and parts of it that are thicker. And just like with the cloud, when it goes in front of the sun, the light passes through the thinner parts. Unless you think the thinner cotton is literally going behind the light. The sun isn't local.
There's that's a good video, but there are much better ones where they actually
Yeah, I
have
need I need a
Yeah,
better
there's
view
a
on
lot
that.
better
I need
ones.
a better view on that.
Yeah,
I need a better view on that.
yeah. There are even better ones.
But
That's
basically,
an
it's just an
excellent.
illusion.
Yeah.
But you triangulate the sun. It's impossible. Use the inverse square law. It's impossible for the sun to be 19 billion miles away and has local hotspots. It's just impossible.
Why do you
It's
say it's
impossible.
impossible? No,
It's scientifically impossible for that to
a
happen.
misunderstanding. Why don't you tell us what you believe the inverse square law is and how that applies to the sun?
So you hold on. Before I answer that question, do you not believe is it apply to the sun? Does not apply to the sun?
What do you think? I'm not
No.
saying that you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm trying to get your
No,
understanding
I
on the
want to
inverse
answer the
square
question,
law
Bob.
and how it
But see, that's what I'm saying. If you don't
connects to the
believe
sun.
that, but me explain. If you don't believe that it's affect the sun, then what's the point of me even saying it? I'm asking you, do you believe that's a factor? Yes or no?
Ty, what is your actual understanding of
Never a
the
straight answer,
inverse
man.
square
Never a straight
law
answer with y'all guys, man.
and
That's a yes or no
how it
question.
applies to the sun? Because
Yes or no?
no,
It doesn't matter. If you
unless
don't
we
believe that
understand
it
your
applies to it, he's
interpretation
talking about it.
of the inverse square law. So, why don't you tell
But do
us?
you,
Treat us like children. What's the inverse square law?
when you get closer to the light source, it gets brighter by, I want to say about 1/4 brighter. I believe it is. But what I'm trying to say is, if you don't believe that it pertains to the sun, why would you try to explain it to you in the first place if you don't believe that's the case? I'm asking you, do you believe
No,
that the inverse
no,
square law of light, do you believe that pertains, that could be, that's
no. I
what I'm
just
asking.
want
That's
to
all I'm asking.
confirm that you are not familiar with what the inverse square law actually is. That was the purpose of that. Because if you're misunderstanding something and then attributing that to the sun, we need to go down to real basics here. So if you're going to understand this, which is the ultimate goal of what we're trying to do here, it's not to mock anybody, it's not to have an argument. We're here to show you that the mountains of evidence we have outweighs everything you've said that has been
Answer that question
debunked
for you.
or is a fallacy. So
But answer that
the
question.
the
How did
light
they
from the
figure out the sun
sun
not 3
is
million miles away?
parallel.
Answer that.
Sorry, what was that, Ty?
But they don't come in parallel. They come in corpuscular. You don't see parallel
No,
rays coming
you
in
can
through.
see.
Don't do that. You don't see that. You see
Let's
corpuscular
not
rays.
throw things out which a quick Google search will prove to you isn't true. Because if you look at corpuscular rays from above, if you look at corpuscular rays coming through, I don't know, a garage window at early in the morning, it will look like it spreads out. You follow those lines, you follow those rays. What is the sun directly outside the window? Is it like 10 feet from your house? No. So you can't utilize corpuscular rays on clouds when we can see that effect so often, and it does is.
You want to know what you want to know what the corpuscular rays are doing? I know you'll understand this because we all know what it's like to stand on a pair of railroad tracks. So when you're standing on the railroad tracks, I don't know off the top of my head the top of my head the width between your feet. I don't know what the hell they are. 6 feet? I don't know. But you know that when you're looking down the railroad tracks, they're eventually doing this. They're meeting in the distance, right? But you know in your head, they're not actually doing that. It's just your point of view, your perspective going to a vanishing point at the horizon, right? It's just an optical illusion. Call it that if you will. That's what the corpuscular rays are doing, only except on the horizontal, like railroad tracks, they're up in the sky. They're more like on the vertical. They're doing the same thing the railroad tracks are doing, except in the sky. They're actually parallel, but from your point of view, where you're viewing them from, they look like they're doing what the railroad tracks are doing. It's just the way our eyes work at that angle from that point of view. That's all it
And
is.
can we clear something up? Because I love when you guys bring this local sun. That is very local. How high do you think those clouds are?
I don't know.
This is the problem. You can't say it's here, and then when we ask you, so how far is that? Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm saying because we don't. This is
So
what I'm trying
plane
to tell you.
so
This
plane
is
flight
what I'm
fly.
saying.
All right.
This is what I'm saying.
So
This is what I'm
plane
saying,
flight.
Kayvon. Listen,
Okay,
Kayvon,
but
this is
so
what I'm trying to
plane.
say.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that I know everything because I don't. That's the difference between me and you. You think they got it all figured out already. I'm questioning it.
So
No,
It's
no,
just they,
but
okay.
just listen to me. So a plane flies over them clouds. A plane flying at 35,000 miles. So we have to put the sun at 35,000 feet. I mean. So do you think the sun is 35,000 feet away only? That's it.
have you heard in the news of
Now,
any?
and so that being said, now have you ever seen that sun without the clouds being at that height?
What are you trying to say?
Does this only happen on cloudy days where you get that optical illusion, or have you ever, or do you
It's not
have
an
a picture
illusion.
of a local sun? Do
Come
you
on.
have a picture of a local sun on a clear day? That's what I'm asking.
It looks like on clear day too. I agree it does too. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I believe that.
Out of a couple hundred years, have you heard of any pilots with or without passengers, any hot air balloons, just like flying into the sun? Like it made the news.
Oh
Like
my God.
shit.
Is that a real question?
No.
I mean,
If it's
you're saying they fly over the sun because they fly over the
I never
clouds,
said that.
and you're
So
saying
once
that
you
you're
you
saying
straw manning me. You straw manning me. I
you
never
didn't say
said it flies
you
over the
didn't say
sun.
that
Stop straw manning me.
you didn't say that sun was inside the clouds.
It's inside. I didn't say inside the cloud. I said I'm asking you why does it look that way. I didn't say that. See,
Oh,
y'all
all
keep
right, all
putting.
right, yeah. Then it's an optical illusion. That's it. That's what it is. That's,
that's been explained. We can talk
all
about
right. So
different
next.
things.
Jesus.
I've got something, and guys like Kayvon have probably seen me do it. I don't know how many times, but you probably haven't. If you want to talk
Yeah,
about,
but I like it.
if you haven't talked about how something very simple about the moon disproves flat Earth and simultaneously proves the globe, we can talk about that. It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Yes. The moon is actually. Yeah.
So so you're aware that like when we see a full moon, there are certain landmarks on the face of the moon. We always see the same side of the moon. Everybody on Earth sees that same side of the moon all the time, right? And there are certain landmarks, certain craters, the sea of features right on that face of the moon. So in the north, there you go. In the who's showing? Oh, McGlobe, sir. Perfect. So in the north, we always see that same side of the moon in one orientation. Let's call it 12 o'clock high. In the south, they always see it 6 o'clock high.
Right.
How would that work if we all live on the same flat Earth? No matter where you stand on flat Earth, everybody should see the same right side up face of the moon, the same side up, just from different points of view, but nobody's going to see it upside down compared to somebody else. You're just going to be seeing it from the left.
I'm
From
gonna explain it to you. I can
okay.
explain it to you. I can purpose it to you. Let's say you got a room. This is you scale it. This you scale again. Let's say you got a room. You in a room. Go ahead.
You're going to say a 6 or a 9 on the ceiling or in the corner?
That proves it.
No, that's something that gets parroted all the time, and that's
Oh my
totally
God.
misleading because we don't look at the moon. We don't look at the moon like this. Nobody's looking at the moon up at the ceiling or even like this. The moon is more like it's on the wall of your room, not on the ceiling. So that right there is not, because to say a 6 upside down is a 9 and a 9 upside down is a 6, we all know that, but that's not what we're seeing. When you look at the moon outside, nobody's looking over their head, up like it's on the ceiling. Nobody's looking at the moon like that. And that totally, it just does totally make sense, because if you've got the moon hovering, however you want to say it, in orbit, it's not a true orbit, but going over the flat Earth like this, right? So how is it that everybody only ever sees this same side of the moon, whether they see it this way or upside down? How is everybody only seeing that side of the moon if going around? seeing the backside. You'd have somebody in Hawaii seeing
See?
the side.
Let me stop you.
Somebody in Europe seeing the other side.
We are assuming that the moon is physical.
It really doesn't matter if it's physical or
It
not.
does matter because you can't see the other side of something that's not physical. If it's not physical, then you won't.
Telescopes right here on TikTok. Telescopes all over TikTok. We've got astronomers up the ass all over TikTok with various degrees of telescopes that are getting right inside the frickin' craters, which you don't even have to get that close to see shadows, to tell it's a rocky surface. And on the edge of the moon, you can see where the craters are. It's not perfect. You can see, oh, it's round. There's a crater dip. It's round. There's a crater dip. You can see it on the edges when you're looking at the moon also. So you can see it's a three-dimensional. Another thing is we don't see 180 degrees of the moon, right? We don't see 50%. We don't see 50% of the moon when we look at it. We actually see up to 59%. We see a little bit towards the sides because it's got a wobble and the way it rotates. So if it was a flat, like light in the sky, we could only see 50%. We wouldn't be able to see up to 59%. So we know it's three-dimensional.
It's a plasma. It's a plasma
reflection. One second. It's not. It doesn't matter. We were right, but that means it has to like reflect everything. And the picture that you showed me, you know, it doesn't work because the moon is.
So do you, so
and it's always 1 second. I'm not finished.
If the moon was a light, if the moon was any kind of light, call it a light bulb, a plasma. If it's emitting its own light, you would not be able to see the shadows on the moon everywhere that you see. Because if it's a light, think about it. If there's a bug on your headlight and you turn your headlights on, are you going to see that bug? No, because the light just obliterates. It's coming out. It obliterates everything. You see no shadows. Okay. You see no bugs on the headlight. You wouldn't be able to see any feature on the moon if it was emitting its own light. Features on reflecting some of the sunlight. The sunlight's illuminating, shining on the moon.
Oh, it's a good question. That's a question.
Can I also add something?
Go ahead.
If the moon was lunary, it should always be a full moon. We shouldn't be able to see different phases of the moon.
That's another.
That's because of the Rahu and Ketu. Of course, it's a. I explained it already. So let me ask you a question. If you ever seen an eclipse where we see the moon and the moon and the Earth, but the moon and the sun is got the same time of eclipse? You ever seen that before? We have.
Not really. I just want to bring it back here. I want to say something. If the moon was lunary, we should also see the backside of the moon, because everyone is always seeing the same side.
Physical.
Right, 1 second. If someone is standing here, for example, and they're looking at the moon, which is what we always see, then someone here should be able to see a side of the moon which we've never seen from the Earth.
That's because you assume that the moon is physical. Why can't y'all understand that?
It doesn't even matter if it's physical or not. We
it does matter.
A different face.
It does matter.
We've presented evidence
that it's
physical.
So I'm asking you. So y'all read the coincidences, right? Do we read coincidences? I'm gonna show you something. I want y'all to explain this. I'm gonna show you something right now. Okay. Let me put it up.
Ty, can I just ask you a question from the picture that's up, and the Globes has got up. Obviously, Globes has got a picture of the flat Earth. The sun and moon are kind of opposite each other, but just imagine someone stood underneath where the moon is right now. Now, what are they actually looking at? Like a moon cut directly in half by the light from the sun? Because we know the moon has phases. We could see that at that time someone far north would be looking at a lit face of the sun. So if someone stood underneath it would be looking up at a perfectly straight line where only 50% of the moon was lit. Perfectly straight. Why is it, though, that both of those viewing points do see the same sun? See the same moon. They're looking at it from two very different angles, seeing the same thing.
Right. I got something too. Move that moon. If you were to move that moon right there on the left side of the screen over to where the sun is on the right side of the screen, what about the people that are living to the right? See all that big landmass to the right of that sun? Put the moon where the sun is. Those people would all be looking at the back of this light, the moon.
All right.
If the moon is a light.
It's only a back if it's physical.
No, it does not matter if it's physical or not. Everything has a back.
It does matter.
Are you saying things that are not physical doesn't have a backside?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
So
So let me ask you a question then. So what's your explanation about? So why do we see the same thing? So are you saying the moon is rotating the same as Earth? Is why you see the same face all the time? Is that what y'all saying?
no, it has nothing to do with Earth's rotation. It's the fact that it takes approximately 27 days for the
Mm-hmm.
moon to rotate on its own axis, and it also takes approximately that same 27 days for the moon to go around the Earth. That's why we only ever see the same side of the moon. It's the relationship between the moon's rotation synchronized with its orbit. It's not. It has nothing to do with the Earth.
Sorry, here's a
Okay,
question here
so
now. Here's a question here now. I'm looking
okay,
at
so
half the moon, right? I'm looking at half the moon right now. Okay?
hold on, Gene.
But
Hold on. I'm gonna put
the
you on big
half
screen.
of
Hold
the
on, Gene.
moon facing towards
Hold on. Hold on. I got you. Let's
okay?
see. All right, go ahead.
I don't know if you can see it if the camera's not blurred out in it. So that's half moon now. But it's half moon facing towards the ground. How is that possible on Plato?
How's it facing toward? What you mean? I can't hear what you're saying. I can barely hear you.
I say now I'm looking at half moon here in the south, right? In South
Right.
Africa. Now it's half moon, right? But it's facing towards the ground. How can you have half moon facing towards the ground on a flat earth? It
I
would
feel like
only ever
facing
be
toward.
half moon to the right or to the left.
Oh, you asked me how is that possible on a flat Earth?
Yeah.
Because the moon is its
It
own
will
light.
only be half moon to the left or to the right. It will never face half moon down.
Because the moon, see, y'all assume that the moon's light is its own light. First of all,
If the moon is its own light, how does it ever have, like somebody mentioned before, phases? How is the moon, if it's its own light and has no back to it, no dark back to it, how, if it's its own light, like a 2D light in the sky, I
right?
guess you're saying, how does it ever show phases? Like sometimes it's a crescent moon, a thin crescent moon. Sometimes it's a
Rahu and
quarter moon.
Ketu.
Sometimes it's a half moon. Sometimes it's a full moon. If it's a light,
I just said it.
a light unto itself, if it's the source of its own light, if it's a
No,
light,
I was just
But
saying you see
Ty,
phases because of Rahu
but
and Ketu. That's what I'm trying. You see the
but
phases because of Rahu and Ketu. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
but Ty, how do you predict? Hey,
Hmm.
we're gonna shut part of this off and make an eclipse off the moon. How do you predict that? Who's shutting it off?
Shutting what off?
Half of the moon.
I just said it's a dark
Like it's
luminary body
like
that's eclipsing the moon. I just said that.
okay. So an eclipse, how do we predict it?
Actually, flat Earth makes a lot of sense in flat Earth because a globe ball shouldn't be able to predict
Okay. So
anything.
so so before it was that it catches up to each other. What makes an eclipse?
I just told you. Why you not listen to what I'm saying?
Okay, so then 2 weeks later, a solar eclipse happens. What makes that happen? And why is that even together?
I just told. What part of Rahu and Ketu you understand?
Nothing. What part does the
Exactly.
sun,
I know
does
you don't.
a
You never
solar
because you're
eclipse,
not.
a solar eclipse 2 weeks prior or 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse? Why?
You talking about the phase of the moon, right?
No, I'm asking you what turns it off? Like, what makes those predictions? Like, we can predict a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse for like, the next 100 years, whatever. Why can't you? And if you could, how do you?
Because the first of all, the sky and the stars are a perfect clock. Of course, it's easy to tell, but you see, this is what I'm saying. If you're telling me that you're in space, right, going through space, all these different motions in space, billions and millions of miles, you shouldn't be able to predict anything. You think about it, it doesn't make any sense on the
Yes,
globe.
that's good. Very
Ty,
smart
why do you keep?
people are able to predict that, and they're able to predict where you should be if you want to see that. Like if you're having a full lunar eclipse, hey, you need to be here in order to see it full. If you live here, you're not going to see it. That is what I'm talking about. This is the people that you're arguing with, and then you're just like, well, it's Ryu and Ken and Kim.
But
But
I didn't
what
say
if
right
they
you and Ken. See now,
have?
see that's you with your ad homonym. You're not even listening to what I'm saying.
I'm
It's
not
a
ad
dark.
hominem. I'm asking
You are
you.
ad
These
hominem.
people. I'm asking you. These people are able to predict this because this is what they study, and then you come in and completely ignore everything they study and say,
I'm
"Nope,
not
that's
knowing
not
what I
how it
study. I'm
happens."
telling you.
But then you can't. But then you can't explain how it happens.
I just told you how it happens. It's dark luminary bodies. It's a dark luminary body that's surpassing in front of the moon. It's
So
not
that's how,
very hard to think about it.
that's how you predict the next 100 years of solar eclipse.
I'm finna get a action.
Sorry, why would the moon only ever be lit up facing towards the sun, though, if it's its own light?
Why what now?
Why would the moon
Oh,
only
I'm
ever be
muted.
lit up on the
That's
side
stupid
that
as
it's
shit.
facing the sun if it's its own light?
I can't hear you. You guys talking to me, but I can't really hear you saying.
1 second,
Yeah, I
Shadow.
think my
I was
microphone
muted while I was talking. I had
messed
no
up.
idea.
Like you know how you know what happens with a solar eclipse,
Wait
right?
1 second. I want to talk. So, Ty, you claim that there's a black sun, basically, that causes
There are
moon
two luminaries.
phases and solar eclipse, right?
Right.
So, if that was the case, in a solar eclipse, we always see the moon go in front of the sun. Now, and your black sun orbits the moon. So, if that's the case, then in any
I never said orbit the moon.
process of the
Straw
solar
manning.
eclipse, we should be able to see two
You're straw manning me.
different black
are all three things happening? Can we
But
see
y'all
this
straw
and
manning
then
me. I never once said that these things orbit the moon. I never said that. Y'all can straw man. I never
Well,
said
what
that.
does
Stop
it
the words in my
do?
mouth. I never
It
said that at
just
all.
appear
But
at
Ty,
some
can we
point.
see a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse and then still see the sun or moon somewhere else? Because it's a black sun, so we still have the moon, right? It's somewhere else. Can we see that at the same time?
What you talking? The moon and the sun at the same time?
Well, you're saying there's another black sun that's doing it. So can we still see the moon also? While an
It's
eclipse is
eclipsing the moon. That's
happening,
where the phases come
we can
from.
still see.
It's eclipsing. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
You see that
yes, but
ghost, right? You see that on the screen, right?
you're saying something else is doing it, not the moon. So can we still see the moon while watching the eclipse? Can we see the moon somewhere else while the eclipse is happening with the black sun?
Nope.
Yeah. Sometimes you can see the moon and sun.
Come
It's
on.
always in front of the sun. That's how a solar eclipse
Don't tell me you
happens.
see the moon somewhere else and then
I never
seeing a
said
solar
that. Why
eclipse
you
at the
keep
same
putting? Why
time.
y'all keep straw
Ty,
manning
1
me?
second,
I'm
Ty.
saying
So,
Rahu eclipses the moon. I'm not saying
Okay,
you not understand what I'm saying.
so while I
wait,
was
so he only
doing that,
eclipses the moon.
like with a solar eclipse, how does that work?
I'm gonna show you. I'm glad to show you.
And Ty, by the way, if there was really a black sun, it would also block out any stars. But it
They
doesn't.
do.
It doesn't. Show me. I
All
want
right,
to
let me
see
put my
a
screen back up.
black
It don't.
circle covering
I'm not getting my
stars.
screen.
That's what I want to see.
No, but that's what I want to see. I want to see now how a solar eclipse is happening and then the moon is somewhere else.
I never. Why you saying moon somewhere else? I never said that.
Because you're saying something else is making it happen.
For
The
So
moon is
where's the
still
example,
where
moon at?
it's at. It's a dark luminary body eclipsing it.
So
for
the moon
It's
example,
shuts
Ty.
off.
eclipsing it.
One
So the
second,
moon
Ty.
shuts off. The moon
Can I
shuts
speak?
off. Yeah, go ahead.
Why you saying the moon shuts
This
off?
is
Man,
what
you
I want
saying
to
it got?
see. Wait 1
What are you?
second. So, if there is a black sun and you claim that it does block stars, this is what I want to see. I want to see this black whatever blocking stars. It should be able to do that. It doesn't only do the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse just because, because we can't explain it. So there's a magical black sun that we have no proof of blocking everything. So I
I'm
also
putting
want
a
to
video
see
right
it
now. I'm
block
putting it up right
stars.
now. Let's see where it's at. Where it's at. I'm putting a video right now as we talk. I'm putting it up right now.
That's so funny. If we say a word like gravity, we're crazy, but you could just be like
Oh,
Ryu.
gravity. I don't want to talk about gravity. That's a whole other story.
but you can just be like Ryu did it. But we
Right.
can't say gravity.
Why you keep
can't say
saying
the term
Ryu? I
gravity.
never said Ryu.
Shouldn't
You said Ken or Ryu, whatever from Street Fighter.
something
Rahu.
Rahu. Rahu Lalu.
I hate talking about gravity. It's too easy to say. No.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So how can they be like, oh,
Gravity
Rahu?
is 96% dark matter though.
It's much easier to
Is
talk
it not?
about things you can
But
see.
but how can he say Rahu but then say no to gravity?
Gravity is a weak force.
Okay,
Y'all know, right? You know gravity's a theory. You know gravity's a theory, right?
No.
You know it's a
It's a
theory, right?
scientific theory.
It's a scientific law. Not even a
Yeah,
theory.
don't
It's a
fall
No,
scientific
hold
into
on.
law.
But
Hold on.
well,
Is it a
the
law or a
trap
theory? Which one is it? Can be
No,
both. Is it a law or a
misunderstanding.
theory? Let
well,
me know.
it's a law.
it depends because
Means
we do have
Ain't no, it depends. No, it's concrete. Is it a law or it's a theory? You know what?
Newton's
It depends.
it
Newton's
both.
has laws
It's
to it.
gravitational
both.
law of gravity.
Man,
It's
y'all
both
can answer the
Ty.
question. Why can't I get a straight answer
Ty,
from y'all? Is
Ty,
it a
don't
law
Okay,
move
or
from
is it a
one
theory?
thing.
Let me
Ty,
dispel
don't
something.
throw a
A
claim
law
and
is
then not
not
back it up.
higher up on the food chain than a theory, than a scientific theory. That's
Yeah,
one thing.
not
And a
at all.
scientific theory never becomes a law. They're two separate things. The
Yes, I
law
said.
is the observation, and the scientific theory explains the law. They're two different things. A scientific theory never becomes a law. A law is not more important than a scientific theory. I actually say a scientific theory is above a law because the scientific theory explains the law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and plus, Ty,
scientific
do you
But
theory
believe in? Do you
theory
believe?
laws.
Do you,
is not.
Ty, do you believe germs exist?
I believe what?
Do you believe germs exist?
The germ theory? Actually, I don't.
So you don't believe in germs?
Huh?
I believe all that's part of the. That's a whole other conspiracy though.
They
And we
also
got time for
Yo,
that
No,
one.
they
no,
this
no,
also
no.
is
call
just
I'm just asking you a simple
ridiculous.
question. Do you believe in germs?
I don't.
No.
Oh my God!
Oh my
All right.
God.
they also
Jesus Christ.
call music theory for musicians music theory.
Do you believe in music?
I'm saying, but okay, this is what I turn. So do you believe ourselves?
He's in the hospital. Like, there's no such thing as germs.
I think there's a theory of
Do you
magnetism
believe
that's
that without?
taken.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe without big pharma can we heal ourselves?
Hey, Ty,
Would I
even
be
air
pharma?
molecules?
Of course we can. Of everything, no.
Ty,
Here's
do
my
you believe in
eclipse right
air
here.
molecules? Yeah, alright, well, you show that. Ty, do you believe in air molecules?
I don't believe what I see. Look, y'all
Oh
trying
my
to you trying
God.
to deflect. Y'all deflecting.
Ty, just before you get into this,
No, it's just
because
like
I'm
you don't
sure
you
you've
don't
got
admit anything. Like I know for a fact
another.
you like I don't know
Oh,
for a
here it
fact,
is.
but I'm
Hold
pretty
on.
sure you believe in germs. Like I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you
Ty.
wash your hands after you use the bathroom because of germs. I'm pretty sure you do. Unless you're gonna tell me right now you don't wash your hands. And what's the
Do you,
reason
so
for it?
you so you believe COVID? So you believe COVID kills people?
COVID did kill
Do
people.
you believe COVID kills people?
Kayvon, just before we get into Ty's next weird conspiracy rant,
So you
because he
vaccinated?
doesn't believe
Are you vaccinated?
anything, I'm going to
Huh?
go because it's 12:30 for me. So have a great
No, I
evening,
question
Paul,
I'm
and
not
everything. I
even
I'll.
question
there.
everything.
Thank you for coming.
Ty will never listen to the
So all right.
Paul.
So Ty doesn't wash his
Look
hands
at
after
this
he uses the
time lapse right
bathroom
here.
because there's no such thing as germs.
I wash my hands, bro.
Why?
Why?
Y'all be strong
Germs
man.
don't
Y'all
exist.
strong man
For
people, bro.
what? Why do you wash your hands for?
Why y'all strong man instead of using basic?
Why do you wash your hands for?
Come on, man.
You see,
Why
this is
would I
why when
This
you
do
get
that?
caught,
I'm not talking to a
when you get
child
put
right
in a
now.
corner, when you get put in a corner, you don't know what to do. Why do you wash your hands
I'm
for?
not putting in a corner. You talking about a whole other
Why do
subject. We're
you
not even talking
wash
about
your
germs.
hands?
We still talking about
Why
flat Earth.
why do you wash your hands after you use the bathroom?
Because it's the sanitary thing to do.
Because
Right.
what?
Why is it
What do you
sanitary?
mean? Why?
Why
Because
is it
of germs,
sanitary?
right?
Oh my god.
Why do chefs, before they
Y'all
cook
deflect. Y'all
food,
deflect
wash
more
their
than anybody I know.
hands?
Y'all some good deflecting.
No,
Y'all
no,
love deflecting, man.
you just
What do
don't
you?
know how to get away.
No, you
You don't know
believe
what
in
to do when you get in
germs?
a corner.
That is
You don't know how to
fucking
just
weird.
admit, like, oh
I'm
shit,
not in the
you
corner
got me,
because look,
you
I
got
can
me.
help because look, y'all breathe out of space. Not me. Y'all breathe on the moon. Not me. That's y'all crazy for believing that.
You don't believe in air
I'm
molecules
sorry,
or
but you
germs.
believe in
I never said that. I never
rocking.
said that. Start straw man
Yes, you
me.
did. I asked you. You said you don't believe in things that you can't see.
I said I question everything. I didn't say that.
That doesn't answer. Okay.
It's all
I'm
right.
trying to figure out. So
Nobody
y'all.
needs
So
to,
let me ask y'all something.
guys.
This
Germs
whole
don't
3 hour
exist.
live we had
You don't have to wash
during
your
this
hands
whole 3
anymore.
hour live.
You don't have to wash chicken
Don't listen to
anymore
my
before you
thing.
cook it. You don't have to do none of
So
that.
this, come on, man. This guy right here, man. Why?
Does China exist?
Really?
Because I've never been there. I've
Am I
never
talking to
seen
a
it.
child or I talk to adults here?
Adults, but do you wash your chicken or you don't? I just want you to admit one thing during this live, just one.
I said, what you mean? I said I do. What
You
you
said you don't
mean?
believe
Why
in
do you
germs,
wash
and
your
I'm asking you,
chicken?
do you have to wash chicken? Does it matter if you overcook it or undercook it? You just eat it because
Wait,
you're not
why?
gonna get
Wait,
sick because there's no
pause.
such thing as
Pause.
Do
germs.
you think germs? So are germs bacteria the same thing in your estimation?
Why do you put chicken underwater? That's my question.
That's
Are
crazy.
germs bacteria the same thing? Just answer the question.
So you believe in bacteria, not germs?
Oh my god, man, this
Okay,
guy.
whatever. This is getting out of topic. Just go back to the.
Y'all love deflecting, man. Y'all some deflecting.
No, I just
Look at
would
this.
like to
Just
see him
play the
admit,
lunar
like,
eclipse. Let me
like
see
earlier
this
he
black
couldn't admit the
sun.
boat thing, and now he can't admit this. Like he has a problem admitting something.
No, I'm talking about y'all need to use your own form of Earth curvature. You can do it yourself, bro.
I did. I showed you, and you should be able to see
No,
the
no, no, no,
Chicago
no, no. I mean, you
skyline.
can do it. Actually, you can do it, experiment yourself. You can actually go out and do it yourself. That's what I'm saying.
I don't live in Chicago.
No, no, no. I'm talking about curvature, man. We're talking about period. Just
Oh,
curvature, period.
okay, sure, curvature. I go out to the beach. I look out. Why don't I see Paris? Why don't I see the
Oh
Burj
my, you
Khalifa?
can't see forever, man. That's the dumbest argument in the world. You can't see
Yes, you
forever.
can. You
Nobody
can
sees
see
forever. Come on, man.
You can
See, now
see
you're
as
just
far
being
as the Andromeda
disingenuous.
Galaxy. You can see
Now
as
you're being
far as
disingenuous,
stars.
man.
So you should be able to see the Paris.
I saw the from. I did. I've got photos. I got videos on TikTok.
No, I was just laughing at something else. Like, how do you say I believe in bacteria but not germs when it's
I never said that. Stop strawmanning me. I asked you a question. What's the difference? I never stop strawmanning me. Stop putting words in my mouth. I asked you a question. I didn't say what I believe. I asked you a question. What's the difference? I never said I believe in it. So stop strawmanning me.
Okay, hey
so
Ty.
you don't believe in bacteria?
If you want some help from some flat Earth buddies,
Oh my
gas
god,
pressure is
man,
in
this
here.
guy.
If you want help from gas, I know he's gonna make it boring talking about gas pressure, but if you
Okay,
want,
so let me ask you a question then. So can you? So space is vacuum, right? How about this? Space is vacuum.
yep.
Yes, but not a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, so here we go. Man, come on, man. I ain't got that.
No, because gas pressure gets confused with that. I was just making sure that we were on the same
Just
page.
answer the
Some
question. Is space a
Yeah.
vacuum?
it's a
Yes or no?
vacuum. Yes,
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
vacuum,
So
which
how can
doesn't
you
suck.
have vacuum adjacent to a non-vacuum space without a barrier? Is that possible?
What do you
Yes.
mean?
We
How
got
can you
gas.
have the vacuum of space,
Gravity.
right?
Gravity.
Oh my god.
All the
Gravity.
vacuum
I
is
just
low. All the vacuum is it's a gradient of high pressure going to low pressure.
is there thrust in a vacuum? Can you thrust in a vacuum?
Why not?
You
Gravity.
absolutely can.
Gravity.
It's a
Gravity.
rocket. A rocket's just the transfer of mass. The mass from in the rocket being expelled out the back of the rocket. It's not pushing off of anything. It's just a transfer of mass.
Right.
It doesn't have to push. It's not like pushing off of a wall or a physical object or off the ground. That's not what it's doing. If you let a balloon, if you blow up a balloon and pinch the nozzle and go into the middle of your room or outside and let it go, what's that balloon going to do? That air coming out is not pushing off of anything.
What happened to that? The proof of your black sun. I thought you were gonna show that.
I tried to show it to you. I couldn't talk it over, man. I just got time. I tried to show y'all, man. Y'all ain't paying attention.
That's very important. You should have kept it up.
It's not important. Y'all just say
Right.
I
You
don't
don't
believe
have
stuff,
it.
bro.
Just say that you don't have it. It's fine.
I just show. I literally. You weren't paying attention to the video?
That's
the time lapse. You see the time lapse? Can I just show you the time lapse?
Show me the time lapse.
Weasel, you don't need it.
You see that?
That's Rahul. Well, you proved it. Yep, I'm convinced now.
Man, y'all some goddamn.
I didn't know you had something that strong. I didn't know you had yellow text. When I saw the yellow text, I was like, "Holy shit, that's it. That is Rahul." Brought out the yellow text. I'm in now.
Kayvon, I think you should just delete your account.
Huh?
Yeah, Kayvon, you like. Okay, Sal. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, Sal. The gross yeah, but Kayvon, you just sound like an idiot, bro. You just saying stupid stuff.
Yeah, which part?
Everything you say is stupid because you're not making.
Name one.
You can make an ad hominems. You ad hominem
name one.
everything you do.
Name one.
Name one.
What's your number?
What happens is Ty. What happens is I don't let people go with the crazy shit they say, and they get mad. That's what you're doing. I don't let you go after you say something. I say no. Well, now let's talk about it. You like your germ thing. All right, now let's talk about it. You don't wash your hands. You don't believe in bacteria.
I
What's
never
the point of
said
washing
that.
your hands?
Stop telling me I don't wash my hands.
You said
What do you?
no. I
What do
said
you
why?
keep strawmanning me, man?
I said why
Stop
do you wash your
strawmanning
hands?
me, Kayvon. I never said anything like that,
Ty,
bro.
I asked you why do you wash your hands?
Because it's the sanitary thing to do.
Just say it. Just say
Why is it
germs.
sanitary to wash your hands? What is the reason?
So y'all watch.
Just say germs. Just say germs are real. Just go back on your word. It's fine.
Just say
y'all
that
guys are
germs
tripping,
exist.
man.
Come on.
Bro, nothing's
Y'all
gonna
tripping,
happen
man.
to you if you just admit that there's germs.
This doesn't even disprove the flat Earth or the globe.
We
I'm
didn't
just
talk
trying
about
to
flat
get
earth,
your.
but we're talking about
I'm just trying
germs
to
now.
get. I'm just trying to get your.
Y'all just keep
I'm trying to
saying.
get
I
your
mean, come
moral.
on, bro.
I'm trying to get your moral value. You can't even admit that there's germs, and that's why you wash your hands.
Why are you so
Right.
stuck on the germ thing, bro?
Because
Because
we
I'm
compare.
stuck on you not being able to admit anything.
If you're not gonna accept that the Earth is a globe, I mean, no, sorry, the other way around. If you're not gonna accept that germs exist, you're obviously not
I
gonna
mean, y'all believe that
believe in the globe.
y'all took the vaccine?
Yes,
See what I'm saying? Yep, I
Oh
took mine.
wow,
I took the
I took
vaccine
mine.
3 times. I'm alive. Guess what?
man.
I'm alive.
For now.
Mm-mm.
But look,
Well, it only lasted a couple. It only lasted about 2 days in your body, buddy.
so let's talk
So what
about
about
the
something?
foundation we're trying to talk about right now. Let's talk about something that we could all just talk about. The moon landing. Your turn. Go.
Sure.
Explain it. You believe we went to the moon?
Sal, do you wanna go? Yeah.
The more
Why do you
efficient
believe we went to
is
the
Anytime.
moon?
probably if you don't believe we've been to the moon. Why not? What stops you from believing we've been to the moon? What aspects?
Well, first of all, let's go back to the footage, right?
Sure.
Now, we all seen the footage, right? Of the lab of the president calling them in outer space and this, that, and the third. Oh, we all seen that, right?
Yep. Yep.
How that
Very
works?
With
easy
no
to
delay,
explain.
might I add. With no delay, might I add.
There was
Right?
But do you know how it worked? This was not a direct phone call from his landline phone to the astronauts on the moon.
no,
That's not how it worked.
absolutely not. That is ridiculous.
So
That's what something Goldberg to say. Hold on, Goldberg to say.
Yeah, we gotta explain to you how it works. So Sal, if you
So okay, so this is why I don't believe it. So y'all trying to sit here and tell me when the last time I went to the moon? 1972, right? 72. When was
no,
the last
it
time I
was
went to the
last
moon?
week.
72.
Last week.
No, don't do that. When was the last
India.
time NASA went to the moon?
India. Oh, NASA. Last November.
NASA didn't say that. They said they can't get to the
You
moon.
didn't?
They said they destroy all the technology. Did they not say that?
No, they did not.
Why you see? That's what I'm saying, Magoso. They did say that. Cause somebody, Sal, K
Dude,
Bun,
I
help me out. Did
explained
they
it
not
to
say
you
that?
like 50
that
times.
was I know what video footage that was. That was taken out of context. So they've got all the hardware, right? It's even in museums. They've got what 2 ready to go rockets back from that era sitting in museums. You can go and walk right up to them. What they lost was some of the telemetry data, which they don't need these days. So they just lost some of the data. They didn't lose the technology. They didn't forget how to get to the moon. So it was kind of taken out of context what was said in that interview. So it's been since what 72. I wish Jock was here. He's got it memorized. But I think it was maybe 70. Was 72 the last year we had feet on the ground on the moon? So since then we've had rockets go around. We've had orbiters go around. Other countries too, like
Yeah.
Japan, maybe India, maybe China. They've actually even videoed the backside of the moon, what we call the dark side, which is not
Right.
really dark because the sun illuminates it. We call it the dark side because we never see it from the Earth. It's the backside of the moon. But that's actually been videoed and photoed by us in other countries.
Of the moon, right? Okay. Now, with that, we keep that all the information in mind. The ISS, how fast does it go?
About the orbit's about 17,500 miles an hour.
So, outside of Earth's atmosphere, would you say that you would feel that?
It circles the Earth once about every 90 minutes, and it's predictable because we know you can look up the flight, what the flight path will be, and you can say, geez, I live in Austin, Texas, and I know if I go outside at this particular point in time, I'm going to be able to see it for like a few minutes. I don't know what the window of opportunity is. Maybe if you had a telescope, maybe 5 minutes. I'm not sure.
How
So
big is ISS?
I think something on the magnitude
About
of
size of a football field.
like I think like a couple buses maybe. It's
Okay.
it's a good size.
Okay. So
That's 357
how far
feet.
you know how far up inside it is, right? You know how far up it is, right?
It may be bigger than I said.
No, it's about size of a football field.
No, it's not.
No, not that big.
It's
Oh,
way
come
too
on.
big. That's way too big.
No.
It's way bigger.
But anyway, you can actually see it. I don't even think you need binoculars or a telescope. If there's video and photographs when it transits the moon, because the moon is so bright, and if it passes in front of the moon, just like if somebody's looking at the moon at night with a telescope and a plane goes by, much lower, a plane flies between your telescope and the moon, and you see the plane going by the moon, you can watch the ISS when it transits the moon like that. It's much easier to see, because if you have the black night of space behind it, it's almost impossible to see. But if it goes in front of the moon, there you go.
Explain it.
Sure.
Let me go back to it. I gotta hear this.
I'm pretty sure I explained this to you already. The plane is closer, so it appears the same size. There you go.
But hold up. Do you see how high
the plane is a bit bigger too? It's in low.
That's correct dimensions. That's the dimensions. This came from NASA. Well, that's the dimensions of the ISS. I didn't make this up.
It's a scale and perspective again. If a smaller object is closer to you, it can appear the same size as a much larger object, much farther from you. I mean,
it's not much larger. Y'all can't see the Boeing 747 and the ISS. Do y'all not see that? I did not make this information up. This is what got off NASA's website.
What's it given for the overall? I'd have to look it up myself, but what's it given? Is it saying they're approximately the same size?
Yes.
Well, they're not.
A Boeing 740, bro.
Unfortunately, there's too many memes and misinformation out there, and I'd have to look it up myself.
No. I got this. No, I researched this. This is what NASA says. Let's compare. This is what they say. ISS is about size Boeing 747.
Is that a 737?
But you know what?
Is that a Boeing 747?
We're also told that NASA says 8 inches per mile squared, and that's not true at all. So we can't go by what NASA says, because that's not true.
I mean, NASA is basically
NASA also doesn't say the Earth is a flat, non-rotating plane the way people say.
Of course they don't. NASA says it's a globe. Of course, NASA says the Earth is a globe.
Yeah. No, but other people will say NASA says 8 inches per mile squared. Wrong. People say NASA says it's a flat, non-rotating Earth. Wrong. So
I never said that.
I can't go by anybody saying NASA.
NASA said no. NASA says it's a globe. What are you talking about? NASA says the Earth is a globe.
The length of a Boeing 747.
All the time that NASA says 8 inches per mile flat, non-rotating.
But if I go to the NASA.gov website, I got this picture right here. What are you saying about it then?
Yeah. I bring it up, but I also want to say that the Boeing 747 is 231 feet, and the ISS is 357, so it is bigger.
Slightly bigger.
So what we should see in that picture up there with the moon is correct.
7.2 miles, bro. 30 times higher. I mean, that doesn't make this mathematically makes no sense. This mathematically makes zero sense at all.
Closer.
Wait, let me see. What is it? What is a mile? 5280. 5280 times 7.2 is 38,000 feet. Okay, I would buy that. 38,000 feet for the plane. I'd believe that. Well, I don't know about maximum, but that would be about a cruising altitude. I don't know about maximum.
So you don't see how this is a problem?
Nope.
It's 30 times higher.
So?
But it's about the same size.
It's not about the same size. It is smaller.
But it's 30 times higher. You're not understand what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what we should see.
Oh my God, man.
The plane appears to be bigger because it's closer to us. The ISS is smaller. You can see
if it's about the same size, you shouldn't see this. If it's about the same size.
What should we see?
McGloser. You know how to do math? You know how to do math?
Plane
this
goes up to like 30,
makes no sense.
1,000 feet, kind of.
It makes no sense. Make it make sense.
Listen, a plane is closer to us, right? The ISS is further away. It is bigger than the plane.
Also, in that photo, you're not seeing the solar arrays, the solar panels. You can't see that in that photo because they're too thin and, they're not substantive enough to see. So what you're seeing is just the body of the ISS, what's in the middle of that photo of the ISS. So that's really what you got compared to the plane.
So comparably, how much bigger would you say ISS is bigger than the plane? How much bigger do you think would say it is? Just ballpark figure. How much bigger would you say it is?
From that photo, the plane looks to be almost twice as long as the body of the ISS.
Okay. So once again, we talking about distances. This doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
I'm
there's
trying to justify this.
126 difference with the ISS and the plane. So the ISS
we're doing a space we're doing a spacewalk ISS. So you saying that the humans are also going 17,500 miles per hour too on the ISS?
Hey, what about it?
I'm saying I'm saying we go to ISS and repair parts, this and the third. So are they also traveling 7,000?
Yeah. Is it weird that if you're on a plane, you're traveling a lot faster than the Earth is? No.
I hate I got to end this. I gotta go to work, man. Look, hey, y'all down for some more, man? I gotta go to work.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I appreciate it, Sam. Hey, I appreciate that, Sam, man. Meglos, I appreciate that. K-Von, you a jackass. I appreciate that too. And
I don't know how I'm the nicest one in, and I'm the one with no coins. I don't know how the hell that happens. I
don't know either, man. That's messed up, man.
I think the comments think I'm too easy on you.
They did, but yeah, man. But yeah, I'm gonna head out, man. But y'all take it easy, though, man.
Yeah, you too, Ty. All right. See you later.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Sal.
Yeah.